All right, welcome folks. This is the start of Civ4 AI Survivor, Season 5, game number 5. This is kind of a weird game because we've got a bunch of leaders that, as chat put it earlier, no one is very confident in. Basically, this is kind of a bunch of bad leaders, which is fun in its own way because if you have a bunch of baddies, then you don't really know what's going to happen. Our pool one leader in this game is Charlemagne, who was the winner of season 4. I don't think he's a very good leader, but he did end up winning in kind of weird, bizarre, flukish circumstances. So he scored enough points to be our seeded leader from pool one, and our seeded leader from pool two is Shaka, who has somehow managed to get enough points to be a seeded leader. Very crazy. Everyone, I think, is aware that he's a nonsensical leader. In this game, we have also drawn randomly Ahsoka and Bismarck and Napoleon and Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut and Bismarck have been appallingly bad in past seasons of AI Survivor. Is this finally the game where Bismarck does something? Will Napoleon ever be able to do an effective attack? He's been very militaristic in past seasons, but has not achieved very much. As far as my predictions go, because I know people asked me to explain at the beginning of these, I do not think the low piece weight leaders, which is Shaka and Napoleon, I don't like Shaka's start. I think he's going to be cramped on territory. I think Shaka is going to be weak. So, and I don't really trust Napoleon. From past seasons, he builds a lot of units, but he doesn't seem to accomplish a whole lot. If Shaka's starting position is bad, then the low piece weight leaders probably aren't going to do a whole lot in this game, and that means I need to pick high piece weight leaders to win. So I like Ahsoka's start the best out of them. And as much as I don't like Charlemagne, he is at least a competent leader. And he is imperialistic, so hopefully he'll get a bunch of land. Hopefully he'll also found a religion and claim some territory with it. So let's get off and running here. So this is what I kind of thought might happen. Ahsoka's going to found one religion. Charlie's going to found the other religion. And particularly if the Holy Roman Empire puts the city down in a good spot, it could really squeeze Shaka on territory. I could be wrong. I mean, like as Jozo is putting in the chat right now, I could absolutely be 100% wrong on this. My track record has not been great this season. So we're going to see two religions founded, one in the northwest corner, one in the southeast corner. And keep your eye out for where these settlers are going. Wherever the little archers are is where they're going. All right, well, Hattie founded a very early city. Let's see where she puts it. I mean, this isn't, honestly, this isn't that bad, to be honest. I know I said honest twice there, especially with creative to pop borders. She did settle toward, oh wait, no, yeah, she's creative, she's spiritual creative. She did settle a little bit towards Ahsoka, so that crowds India slightly, but this is a pretty good city. Double food resources, ivory for happiness, not bad. It is away from Shaka. I know we had one prediction that said whoever gets this copper between Napoleon and Hatshepsut is going to be dominant. And it looks like it might be Napoleon, maybe. Depends on where he goes. Bismarck also did not run his settler into the tundra like a moron. He hasn't picked an especially good spot, but he's also settled towards Napoleon. So, like, look, Napoleon getting a little crowded already here. Not a lot of space for this guy. I mean, I guess he can go north. This is a kind of a small map. Definitely had some bigger maps for the competition than this one. So Bismarck gets stone. Maybe he'll use that to build Stonehenge or something. I guess we'll see. Charlie, aggressive settler. Yeah, it looks like is he gonna wait, let's just see if he settles on this tile. Yeah, all right. Well, so this is kind of what I was thinking though. Charlie's going to found a religion. He has very high religious research preferences. And I mean, he's going to get Hinduism because no one is contesting him for this. And then this city is going to be a holy city, and it's going to balloon out all its culture here. And you know, this is going to swallow up his neighbors. Good news for Napoleon is he will have copper. There's no way he loses this tile, but he's not going to control the horses. Charlemagne is going to control that. How about Shaka down here? Well, the good news is he's got gold. That's always good. Extra happiness, extra commerce. The bad news is the city has really not a lot of food. I guess it has the floodplains here, but he's not going to control these floodplains. That's going to be Charlemagne's city. And I mean, Shaka just doesn't have a ton of territory here. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he'll get some more cities, but he's looking kind of squeezed, which was what I was thinking about. Had he no metal, no horses? She has iron, but yeah, she is probably not going to research ironworking early. So she could be in a situation with no metal, no horses, which would be obviously quick death for her. I don't know. We'll see. Where's Ahsoka sending his settler? Looks like he marched it into the south first and now is going to the northwest. Is he going to get this city down before meditation finishes? That would be kind of weird if he founded the religion in his capital. But it looks like that's going to happen. That's an extreme rarity, not to have the religion pop up in the second city. Um, he has already hooked up the silver, for what that's worth. Yeah, we're actually going to have the religion pop up in the capital city, which is too bad for him because it would have been much better to get the religion in this city. I would suspect he's going to drop it either here or here. Probably here. Is he going to miss this by one turn? Oh, he missed it by one turn. Wow. That sucks for Ahsoka. Good city, though. Wet corn, cows in the second ring, iron later on. Yeah, Napoleon Shaka might do the military thing and not research mysticism for 100 years. So anyway, now I'll just advance this until the second religion's found. So this will be Christianity popping up in Prague, because that's the religion he'll pick. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of culture popping up. This city itself is not really that bad either. It's got a wet rice for food, some floodplains. It's not going to control the ivory because it's on the diagonal. Well, if it's a holy city, it actually will control the ivory. Otherwise, it wouldn't. But and it'll bring in horses, and yeah. So now the question is, who's going to settle the next city? Who's going to have the next settler? A lot of people building settlers in their size 1 cities. We tend to see that a lot. Actually, not happening from Ahsoka as we normally see. A lot of agriculture wheel stuff getting researched right now. Ahsoka is researching agriculture. He is smart enough to know he should connect the wheat and the rice tiles. What are other people researching? Charlie's on agriculture, which he needs for his start, because he currently has none of his stuff can be improved because of his awful starting text, mysticism and hunting. Terrible, terrible starting text. Should have found on the hill tile 1 west. Yeah, but see, he wanted to grab the horses, I think. Oh, no, he actually can't see the horses because he doesn't have wheel. I don't know why he picked this spot, honestly. Kind of a weird spot for him. So wheel, Shaka, why is Shaka researching wheel? That's a weird tech. He doesn't know the horses are there because you need wheel tech for them. I would think he would, well, he's agriculture hunting for his starting techs. Should probably go for mining to hook up this, go for mining to hook up this gold tile. Oh well, it's the AI, so. Bismarck is going fishing, which he needs. Ah, excuse me, there is a huge housefly down here that was apparently crawling around on my foot. It's actually kind of disgusting. I'm not going to show it on stream. He did install in the wheel river, so he needs wheel to connect cities. Maybe. Ugh, sorry about that. Yeah, but Bismarck is researching fishing. I'm down in the basement, so we don't really see a lot of insects down here. Fishing's a good tech for him. Hattie is researching hunting, which, yep, good choice. She needs this. Actually, Hattie's looking pretty decent here. Look at this. Having agriculture really does help out of the gate. Like, she's connected her food resources. If she goes hunting and then on to animal husbandry, she actually is off to a good start here. So we're mostly waiting to see who's going to get settler out first. Hattie's at 3 turns. Charlie is imperialistic, but he has no improved tiles, so his start is garbage for right now. And Ahsoka's building a settler at size 2 or whatever. Although it's going to drop when, yeah. Note that it dropped from 12 turns to 7 turns when he finished this really good tile here. I'm surprised he's not getting... Oh, he is researching hunting. I was like, why isn't he getting hunting for his deer? But of course he is getting hunting for his deer. It just feels like Ahsoka has like a lot more room to expand. If he puts like a city here, he's going to get a bunch of cities in the corner and be pretty safe. Because Hattie's going to draw all the early aggression. At least that's my read on the game. Also, Hattie herself might not be like roadkill the way we're kind of expecting, because she's off to a pretty good start. And this is a map, because it's so congested, this is a map where the creative trait's actually pretty helpful. So she's the first one to get a settler out. I did not predict that Hattie would be the first one to get a settler. Looks like the next one is going to be... Actually, they're all going to come out at about the same rate afterwards, so we'll just watch where her... Hattie already has animal husbandry and is connecting pigs. Yeah. Yeah, no joke. I mean, look at this. Look at the worker. He's building it at 12 food hammers per turn. Nice. So here's the settler right here. Just going to watch this because it's by far the most interesting unit right now. Apparently she's sending it down into the tundra. Well, that's not a good choice. She probably should be pushing to the east with it. Maybe she wants the horses? That would make some sense, I guess. Though I wouldn't say it's the smartest place to go. Yeah, it looks like she wants the horses. Although the terrain down here is pretty bad. Alright, well, she does have horses. I guess it's not a terrible city. I wouldn't say it's a good city. Taking the pigs away from the capital is not great, because that drops the capital down to just +4 food surplus. If she actually had got... I mean, this city is actually much better if you move it one tile west, because then it grabs the furs. Now she has to get 100 culture in here for furs, so that's substantially weaker. Alright, well, we've got settlers finishing from the other leaders right now. Here goes Shaka. He's got his settler out. Let's watch where this one's going. Oh, it's unescorted. Ooh, that's risky. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Never mind, it's being escorted by this archer. Where is this one going? Apparently he likes the southern tundra too. Oh, Shaka, no! Ah! I mean, this is good for me because I didn't pick Shaka to do well this game. But for all of you who have Shaka, this is like, what is he doing? So, if Shaka pulls one of those never research mysticism starts, this city is so bad because all of its food, I mean, if you even count Tundra Deer, which is barely a food tile, like if he doesn't expand borders, this city is 100% useless. Look at how bad this city is. The real poverty point, yeah, real poverty point. Yes, Bamba, no Bamba. Settle that tundra. But I mean, he really is he's mostly locked out of territory. This is what I was telling you guys before the game started. He just doesn't have a lot of territory. He can maybe get another city here and on the coast, but that's about it. I just don't see him easily running over his enemies at this rate. I just think the map is kind of set up for him to fail. And like, look, Charlie's already grabbing a nice spot over here. So like, this is a good city over here, Vienna. Well, okay, it's garbage out of the gate, don't get me wrong. There's no food here at all, but once he expands borders, like once he connects the food resources, that's a good city. It's also on a hill too, so, you know, when Shaka inevitably comes attacking, it's going to be hard to capture. And this city's going to be hard to take because of the gazillion holy city culture. I mean, Shaka has room for maybe one city here, but that's like it. Pretty much it. It's true, copper is kind of rare on this map. I know people are saying that Shaka is going to be one of the few leaders to have copper. Yeah, there's like very little. I think there's only 3 copper resources. No, 4. 4 copper resources on the map. Just for whatever reason, there's very little copper on this map. But not a good city plant from Shaka. Not good at all. So we should have more settlers out. So here's a Bismarck settler. Let's keep track on island where this one's going. And I believe Ahsoka has one out too. Yeah, Ahsoka's... Okay, so Ahsoka's heading for the copper. I don't know if he can see it yet. I don't know if he's going to settle on that tile, but Bismarck's headed for this. This is a really nice patch of territory over here. Look at this. If Bismarck gets this, he might do something in this game. He seems to be headed in that direction. Ahsoka has managed to dodge any food resources whatsoever. If he's smart, he'll put a city here later on for the fish. But copper is nice to have. Will make him a lot stronger. Ahsoka is working all of his... He has improved all his resource tiles except the horses, but he's working on them. So 5 total copper resources. Thank you, Frozen Roy and Okatona. So, I mean, if Bismarck grabs this spot, he actually could be... well, that was not the best tile to settle on. I don't know why he would pick that tile Well, I do know why, because it's the AI and they just settle based on number of resources, not other considerations. But if he had just gone, I mean, if he goes here, this city's a lot stronger, right? Corn in first string, gems in first string. I mean, yes, you'd be one off the coast, so maybe that wouldn't be the ideal spot either. To some extent, I kind of like settling on this tile here, because you pick up on the coast, and it wastes the gems, true, so maybe not, but I don't know. Depends on if you're like creative. If you're creative, you obviously settle here with the free border pop. So anyway, that's the setup here. So as bad as Hattie's third city is, she does get war chariots connected instantly, and that's going to make her much less of easy prey. So she's actually leading score by a lot right now, although that's mostly creative. So the only other one who has a settler out here right now is Napoleon. Yeah, heading north. An undefended settler, apparently. Oh, do not get this thing eaten by warriors, Napoleon. Alright, he didn't. He covered it with an archer. Fortunately, the Civ4 AI is a lot better in this regard than the Civ6 AI. Alright, so Leon goes up here. Again, all the food's in the second ring. I mean, such as it is, hardly a good food resource there. Not too impressive as far as cities go. It doesn't really have a whole lot. I mean, I wouldn't be feeling too good about Napoleon having this territory. Like, Charlie's still got some... I mean, I guess Napoleon can settle over here. Charlie, though, if he's smart, will grab some of this territory. I just don't feel like the low piece weight AIs are in good shape in this game. Like, they're going to try to attack. I don't know if they're going to succeed. So, Shaka finished a settler. I'm going to try to keep an eye on this one. Are there any other settlers out on the map right now? There's another one almost finished there. Hatchip apparently has just finished a settler too, so we want to keep an eye on where these are going. And Ahsoka has started the Wonder Spam, not surprisingly, with Stonehenge. So yeah, we've got a Shaka and Hattie settlers, and about to have another one from Bismarck. Keep an eye on where Shaka's going first. Alright, so he is going to claim the copper, as expected. Also finished bronze working. Sent this one out undefended again, but I think it'll be okay. Alright, so he's going to plant right here on this hill. No food. And Hatshepsut's going east. She'll probably claim something in this resource cluster. So as expected, Shaka settles on the hill. This city, Prague, has expanded borders for being the holy city and is really crushing the Shaka and Napoleon cities in the area. They just don't have a lot of tiles to work. Napoleon apparently likes his farms. Look at all these farms. How many farms did he build? That's 5 farms there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's got like 13 farms here. This is not Civ 6 where you need to build a bunch of farms to get the feudalism boost. These are all just doing nothing. I mean, he's got a lot of food. This is... How much food surplus does he have here? Does he have 15 food surplus? I don't know. He's got a ton of food surplus, but I don't think he really needs that. Shaka hates food resources. Yeah, I just don't see where Shaka puts more cities. I guess maybe one here on the coast, but that's it. I don't think he has room for anything else. So it looks like Hattie's going to plant right here. And then contest with Bismarck, who has no culture in here. Not yet, at least. Yeah. So Hattie claiming a lot of territory. Now, I don't know if she'll be able to defend this, but that's not looking too shabby. So she's building Stonehenge, but it looks like Ahsoka's going to get it. Also our first Barb City back here, which is probably good for Ahsoka. It's not on a hill, so it'll be reasonably easy to capture. He's going to build Great Wall and Stonehenge. Keep those barbarians out of his territory. Hattie, I'm sure, is the worst enemy of Napoleon and Shaka. I would be very surprised if she is not. So there it is. No surprise, because of her high piece weight. And Napoleon's the worst enemy of Ahsoka and Hatshepsut. Ahsoka, worst enemy of Charlie. That's kind of weird. I guess that's because of the different religions penalty. Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't expecting there to be that big of a penalty there. They are on the opposite ends of the map, though. So will we see Charlie walk all the way across the map just to attack? I don't know. That'd be bad for my predictions. So we have seen some more action here in the northwest. Napoleon got another city here, so he's going to pick up... Oh, didn't he already have copper? Yeah. He picks up another copper resource. Does deny it to Charlemagne, though. This is a better city, although once again, he apparently hates food resources because the food's out there in the second ring again. And as far as I know, both Shaka and Napoleon still are doing the ignore mysticism thing because their tech preferences are all military, so they ignore mysticism. So they literally can't spread borders unless they get a religious spread somewhere. Charlie needs ironworking for metal. Yeah, I think that's right. Yes, he does. So he has no metal. Also needs to connect his horses over here. Oh, he doesn't have the wheel, so he can't see them yet. That's why. So yeah, he has a lot of score points, but he's not in a... He hasn't really done a whole lot, Charlemagne. I was curious... Oh, wait, no, I was going to say, had he founded another city over here? She's actually been expanding fairly well. Like, this is more territory than I think we expected her to get. Settling in like an arc here. No, you need animal husbandry to connect horses, but wheel reveals horses, is the way it works. If I'm correct. Oh no, it is animal husbandry. Okay, I'm sorry. I had that backwards. I guess it's been too long since I played this. So it is animal husbandry that reveals it. My bad. I'm thinking of one of the other civilization games. So let's just check real quick to see who has settlers out on the map. Bismarck does not. That's just workers. That's just a worker as well. Looks like Shaka is the only one. So as predicted, this one looks like it's going to head down to the coast. Although there is no food at all down here. Probably going to settle right on this tile. Yeah, Bismarck's still sitting on 3 cities. I mean, well, no, he's on... I guess he just planted this one, Cologne. Or maybe he did have this one. I guess it's size 3. I guess it's been up here for a while. It's easy to forget that Munich's there because it's being squeezed by Hattie's culture. Yeah, you kind of need to get some culture here, Bismarck. Otherwise, you're just going to lose all the tiles to Hattie, who is now going to hook up these... Yeah, she's actually going to use these gems. She's looking pretty good, honestly. I pick Ahsoka over her because I think she's going to be dragged down by warfare, which I think Ahsoka is going to be able to avoid because Hattie's going to shield her. But Hattie's playing a strong early game. No question about that. So yeah, capital comparison. I intended to do that earlier, but at this point I kind of waited too long. We can do a quick look. Aachen, I mean, at this point, everybody's pretty much connected their food bonuses. Although, I guess, not Charlemagne. He still hasn't connected his cows there. Ulundi, yeah, I mean, but like by this point, everyone's kind of researched the text they need and has gotten their stuff connected. A lot of health here for Hatshepsut, more than she needs. The 10,000 farms here in Paris. Bismarck is, you know, this city was a good idea because he was able to split like some of these resources off from the capital. The capital has more food than it can use with all these resources here. Very unhappy though. Needs to get some happiness resources. You know, it would have been nice making use of these gems or just building a road to this city, which has ivory. And down here, Ahsoka. Yeah, see, he's already at 16 culture per turn. He's actually going to steal this. Well, no, never mind. He's not going to steal this away because it's Hattie who has creative culture. Otherwise, if it was not a creative Civ, he would be stealing that away. All right, 50 turns in. Only Barb City so far is that one down there. If Ahsoka lands that, he's in better shape. Not much of an observation, I understand. He should be able to... I mean, he's the favorite to take that. But he needs better units. Like, chariots are not going to kill archers in a city. He needs to get up to metal. If he can get to swords, he'll have that. But it being Ahsoka, he's not going to prioritize that. So he's got stone. That means he's probably going to build an awful lot of wonders. Let's just look at the bar graphs real quick, although they're not going to be too impactful this early. Yeah, GMP is just kind of a whatever. Although Bismarck is apparently struggling a lot when it comes to GMP. Production, it looks like Hatshepsut and Ahsoka are ahead. Food, it looks like Hattie's ahead. Interesting. Power, Napoleon, Shaka, and Hattie are all close. Charlie is lagging because he doesn't have resources connected. And then culture, India, and creative culture and the Holy City. Ahsoka got squeezed. I guess so. He still has room for another. The Barb City, a city here. I think he's actually okay. I think he'll be all right on as far as territory goes. He definitely has room for 5-ish cities. We'll see where this settler goes because he's building one right now. I'll be curious to see if anyone goes for the monotheism religion. I kind of suspect that. Wait, how is Napoleon the most advanced Civ? That's unexpected. Bismarck the pathetic. I kind of think Ahsoka is most likely to grab the monotheism religion and then just bury it. All right, nope, he's going to send this settler south. See if anyone else has a settler out right now. Shaka has a settler here, but I don't think he has anywhere to send it. Is that another Napoleon? No, those are workers from Napoleon. And Bismarck has a settler as well. But Bismarck is not moving his settler for whatever reason. So I guess this one's going somewhere in the south. This Ahsoka settler. Oh, maybe he wants the marble. There'd be absolutely no food down there, but we'll see. Ahsoka does love his wonders. Oh wait, I forgot. I forgot that Ahsoka had copper. I was like, Ahsoka's going to need iron to build real units. I was like, wait, no, he doesn't. He settled on copper. Look at this poor city at Orleans. It has like no tiles. 7 production per turn. A lot of people squeezed on culture in this game. This tight map here. Looks like most of the map's pretty full. Hatshepsut's actually got a lot of units over there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Hattie founds religion. She has fairly high religious preferences. Oh, here goes a Napoleon. Oh no, never mind. I thought that this was a settler here, but it's not. It's just a stack of units walking around for no clear reason. And Bismarck just has an unused settler. Don't know where this settler's going. This would actually be a good city right here. Plains Hill, Plains Cow, Fish Tile. Be a pretty good spot. Anyway, we should do a Diplo check-in to see who really hates who. So Charlie dislikes Ahsoka the most. I don't know how he would get over there. He's cautious with everyone else. Shaka does not like Ahsoka, does not like Hatshepsut. Ahsoka doesn't really hate anyone, although he's pleased with the high peace weight leaders. Bismarck is mostly pleased and cautious, not much there. Hattie dislikes the low peace weight enemies, no surprise. And Napoleon hates the low peace weight leaders. Is this a settler? No, just a random wandering archer. Just looking around trying to see if anything is going on. So Ahsoka did settle on the marble. He really wants that marble. Loves his wonders. Would do better to like settle actual cities, but on the plus side for him, if he refuses to sign open borders, no one can even reach this Barb City. Like it's impossible for anyone to get there except through his culture. Shaka getting ready for war? Let's see. Apparently he is. Good call. You're like, well, the map's pretty much filled up. Let's see who Shaka's going to go attack. It'll be funny if he goes for Ahsoka. If he like walks all the way down here and then goes for Ahsoka. More likely he's going to go for Hattie though, with those units. I don't know if I see him having much success though. Hattie's kind of strong, or at least not that weak. Certainly without catapults, it's hard to see him having too much success. Oh, here they go. Here comes the first stack, headed towards somebody. And Charlie grabbed it. I think he founded this a couple turns ago. And Charlemagne, if he ever actually like hooks up his territory, he's in decent shape. Like Vienna's about to become a real city, about to become a real boy by connecting the fish resource. That Holy City culture is just allowing him to dominate the orders. I suspect Shaka and Napoleon or not Shaka, Charlemagne and Napoleon are going to go to war. This seems very likely to come to a confrontation. Charlie really needs to get animal husband or ironworking though, because he does not have a metal resource right now. He has protective archers, but that'll only do so much. So there's our first war. Not a surprise. Pretty much expected this to happen. Hattie is definitely in a stronger position than I think a lot of us expected, though. Let's look at the power graph real quick. I mean, he's higher in power, to be sure, but not by a huge amount. I don't really see him cutting through the defenses of Hattie. Now, again, I still think that Hattie eventually dies. I just think it takes a very long time. Shaka's production base is pretty weak. Like, if we look at production, which is a good measure of like how good they are at turning out units, not power, production. I guess it's not terrible. It's down here. What is Bismarck doing, by the way? Why is Bismarck such a bad AI? Like, what is he doing? I don't get this guy. Ahsoka's about to oracle something. All right, well, we'll keep an eye on this. But, like, this force here is not... I don't see this doing a whole lot, personally. Now Hattie's got a counter stack here. Bismarck is the worst AI. Shaka and Napoleon are last in score. And again, score's not everything. Score's not the most... All right, well, so much for that stack. Hattie just cleaned it up with her war chariots. She's like, yeah, you guys laughed at this city here in the tundra. Well, guess what? I needed it for the war chariots, which, by the way, looking pretty sharp in those orange digs. Normally they're obviously yellow, but we gave Egypt a different color to distinguish from Charlie in this game. But yeah, looking kind of sharp there in these 2005 era graphics. Anyway, so Shaka's initial push just got wiped out. This will slow down. So like this will slow down Hattie though, because she's going to have to spend a lot of resources on fighting Shaka. Meanwhile, Mr. Ahsoka is just going to sit over here in the corner and build a gazillion wonders and get ahead that way. Like, let's see what tech he's going to oracle here. Oh, does Bismarck lack wheel? He must, right? Because he doesn't have any. He must because he doesn't have any roads in his territory. That must. What is he doing? What is going on here? Yeah, no wheel tech. Why is this guy so bad? We should refresh the map. Thank you for the reminder. It's like, what, Bismarck, why do you suck so bad in this game? He has no pastures built. Well, yeah, if he doesn't have wheel, he's unlikely to have animal husbandry. But yeah, this is like an embarrassment. We're 64 turns into the game and he has no roads. And look at all these unimproved tiles. It's just a freaking disaster, man. I'm going to screenshot this just to point out how awful this guy's doing. No wheel, no no animal husbandry. All his city's unhappy. This guy's a joke. That's why I didn't pick him for anything. So Charlie's on bronze working now. He really, as long as he can get to iron working before he gets attacked by Napoleon, he'll be fine. If Napoleon attacks him before that, though, he's maybe in trouble. So is he plotting war? All right, so Napoleon's plotting war. Big moment in this game. Does Napoleon go after Charlemagne or does he go after Hattie? Or does he randomly attack Bismarck? All of those are possibilities. So he's going to attack one of them. If he attacks Hattie, she probably gets dragged down enough that she's not a competitor to win the game. If he goes after Charlie, then it's a bit of a different story, and I don't know quite what would be the result there. Especially because Charlemagne doesn't have medals right now. He's on bronze working. He might go into iron working from there. If the AI does not have medals, they do try to prioritize the text that gives that to them. So we'll have to wait and see. Ooh, these Shaka units just out here in the middle of nowhere. Oh my god. This first fly is... Alright. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay, that was random. So I mentioned this before. There was this big horsefly, like maybe this big, about an inch long, maybe like 2 to 3 centimeters. And it was like, I felt it then, it was crawling up my leg, and I brushed it away, and then it did it again. I have no idea what it was doing down here. I did not want to show it on stream. It was pretty disgusting. So I just grabbed like a paper towel and tossed it out. Ugh. Anyway, that was not fun. So, getting back to the game, Shaka actually cleaned up Hattie's little war chariots right there. One of the problems for a leader like Hatshepsut is she tends to not build enough units. Although she is building a lot of war chariots here. Now, another problem for her is she still doesn't have metals. Like, the reason why she's building so many war chariots is she doesn't have any metal units. So impies are really bad for her. She really needs to research ironworking. If she doesn't research ironworking, she's in a lot of trouble here. And obviously, if Napoleon were to pile on, she'd also be in trouble. So Napoleon's picked up... All right, so this could be big because by picking up Charlemagne's religion, Napoleon's more likely to attack Hatshepsut and less likely to attack Charlie. And there's also another French settler up here. Bismarck is like, I don't know what this guy's doing. Meanwhile, Soka's like, I'll just go build the pyramids. And he's got a force that's... Actually, he's almost taken this city. There's only 2 defenders left right now. That's probably enough units to take that city out. So anyway, here comes Shaka. But the problem is he's going to have to attack this city, and he has no siege units, which means he just gets absolutely destroyed, attacking into 40% defenses. So, like, Shaka's stronger in the field, but, like, these armies are pure suicide when they actually have to attack. Oh, wow. That attack went really badly. I'm kind of shocked that that attack failed. I thought that would succeed. Must have had some terrible dice rolls, because it just promoted the archers in Shangdian. Well, so much for Ahsoka taking that city anytime soon. It looks like he's going to get pyramids. Oh, wow. He's really settling down here. Look at all these cities. If he builds, like, Great Lighthouse, this... Too bad the best spot he still hasn't managed to pick up yet. Can I see what Bismarck's running on the espionage slider? Yeah, no problem. 20%, that's not really different. All the AIs are running 20% right now. Mainly war chariots on defense. Good point. Wow, that's a really good point. There's 4 war chariots on defense. Wow. Where are the actual archers, Hattie? Huh. Good point. Where are the actual defenders? Alright, she just barely managed to get more units in here. Temple of Artemis from Charlie. Okay. Napoleon does appear to be attacking Charlemagne, though, because that's where his units are. They're way up here. They're not down along the... Like, there's not a big stack here in Orleans. And here's a Holy Roman settler over here, too. But for the time being, that attack was turned back by Hatshepsut. It's not good for her either that her iron is over here. She is on monotheism, though, so she's going to found her own religion. I thought Ahsoka might be the one to finish that, but it looks like he is off in Wonderland right now, building the pyramids. Still struggling to take out that Barb City. He's just in such a safe position right now. Like, it's very... He will not be attacked by anyone for a long time, and I think that's going to help him. Oh, we never saw what he picked up with the Oracle, by the way. He took... Ooh, Monarchy. That tends to be a really good choice for the AIs, because it just allows them to get a lot of extra happiness in their cities from Hereditary Rule. That is, if he switches into Hereditary Rule. He might not be in it yet. No. Why hasn't he revolted? Oh, you know what? It probably hasn't been 5 turns yet. Of course, he's going to build the pyramids, too, making that kind of pointless. Can we point out the absurdity of... Yeah, I mean, he's got all these cities that literally have 0 food. Like, this city cannot grow, period, and it never will be able to grow because you can never put farms on these tiles. The water cities will be fine eventually. Someday, all they really need is to... I mean, they're bad without food bonuses, but at least they can work the water tiles and be useful someday. Amazingly, he didn't bother to settle for the iron and the. I mean, he can't see the iron, but he could have settled for the clams. And meanwhile, poor Shaka is like, ugh, look at this city here. Charlie was like, yep, I'm gonna squeeze you even further, Shaka. Man, he just, I mean, has so little territory. Hard to see him doing a whole lot with so few cities and so little of a production base. And Charlemagne founded another city here too. If now he's not going to be able to hold these cities, but if Charlie does not get attacked in like the next 20 turns, he's going to be very strong, very strong. Because look how much territory he has. Turn off the 7 cities, and like just look how it's not even the city count. It's like look, Orleans can't work any tiles. Lyon, Reims, they can't work any tiles because Napoleon's never researched mysticism. These are just weak cities. They can't do much of anything. Same for Shaka. I mean, like this city is garbage. It's terrible. Um, so yeah, it just makes a big difference. Now he's stupidly building the pyramids for some reason. But Charlie's in a position to be strong down the road. Yeah, now look at this, swallowing up even more territory, because this city actually built a monument and also has religion in it. Bismarck built the pyramids. Wow, I'm a little surprised. Ahsoka was like 2 turns away from finishing that, or 5 turns away with the stone. Well, I guess we know what Bismarck was doing. He still does not have any roads in his territory. Still no roads. We're 75 turns into the game on deity. Man. Anyway. So Hattie and Shaka are still clashing over here. Hattie, you should stop researching religious texts and... Elephantine. Oh, over here. Oh, great. Even worse for Bismarck. Now there's a holy city right on his borders. So she'll convert, like, immediately. And she may actually even flip this city. There's only 1 defender in here. It's unhappy. Yeah, not so great there. Continuing to promote the defenders here instead of just waiting. See, the problem is even axes don't do that great against archers in a city like this. You really need swords. Swords are when you start getting odds on these attackers. Hattie is on ironworking, so a smart choice. It might be tricky to hook up this iron. Does she have another one, out of curiosity? No, just that one. Just this one. So it could be tricky to connect that, because it's right on the Shaka border. But she's smart to go for it, and Charlemagne is going for ironworking as well. Alright, well, this is what Charlie needed to avoid. But he's not that far from ironworking, and I think he can probably hide behind his city walls. I guess we'll see. Napoleon desperately needs a successful conquest, or he's going to be snowballed out of this game very quickly. So yeah, this city's not very well defended. We'll see if Charlie crams some more archers in there. It does have city walls, which is big. Much harder to attack the cities that have walls, but like I said, there's just a lot more attackers than there are defenders. And there's just archers in here. Oh, so Shangyan did finally get captured. Good for Ahsoka. Again, Ahsoka's not leading in score now, but I think he will be leading in score down the road because he'll just be able to go pure infrastructure and his culture will just be crazy. He'll definitely get another city over here, probably on this tile. Anyway, let's reveal the map for that. And then we've got to see if Charlie can hold this city. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this one, Augsburg. I think this falls. There's 3 archers in a chariot. That's not a lot. Even with the wall bonus, that's not a lot. If he had 1 axe, I think he would actually hold this city. But I think it falls. Let's find out. Well, looks like not great dice rolls for... looks like they were not great dice rolls for Napoleon there. Still not guaranteed. One of these archers will be able to promote city garrison too. The other one, not so much. Why isn't he whipping another archer here? So there's a full health sword. There's a sword that can promote an attack. And then there's this... There's an undamaged sword and axe. And then there's a spear that can promote, and I still think the city falls here. Ahsoka's gonna found on the iron solely to avoid food? Maybe. Maybe. He's actually building a lot of military right now. Maybe that was for the Barb City though. Alright. Let's see. I still think this city falls. Not on this turn, at least. But it's down to just one chariot and one archer. You would think you would reinforce this city. Charlie, why don't you move up some more units? He's just trying to spam out chariots right now. Dude, you shouldn't be spamming chariots, you should be spamming archers, because they get the defensive bonuses. Yeah, this is just not enough to hold this city. Even with the archer promoting. Although, if he would just whip a... I don't know, maybe he'll whip another archer. We'll see. He did dry whip an archer, though. Oh! Well, color me surprised. Yeah. Look at... Oh, man. The protective trait at work. Protective, most OP trait in the game. City Garrison 3 archer. That one archer, man. Just could not crack that one archer behind city walls. Plus 125% city defense. Man. Even gets the plus 10% against melee for being City Garrison 3. Oh yeah, and Bismarck's finally going to connect the wheel. Although at this point he's kind of useless. Munich has 7% odds to revolt each turn. And give Hattie another city. So, yeah, so the Hatshepsut versus Shaka war is just kind of stalemated for right now. If Napoleon had attacked Hatshepsut instead of Charlie, maybe Hattie starts collapsing. But then again, that just makes Charlie stronger down the road. So it does not look like a good game for the low piece weight AIs. And by this point, Charlemagne should have iron working done and iron connected before another city comes under serious attack. Because Napoleon just lost a lot of forces there. I guess he didn't lose that much. Wow, Charlie was really low on military power. And of course, Bismarck's low in like everything because he has no roads in his territory like a moron. Anyway, yeah, for the moment, the war between Egypt and Zulu seems to be kind of on the back burner. Hard to see Shaka being strong in this game, though. That's a lot of war chariots. A lot of war chariots. Not likely to have too much success against impies behind walls, though. So, as I kind of thought would happen, Hattie's just getting dragged down a bit by this. So Bismarck converts to Judaism. One problem for Ahsoka is no one else practices his religion. That said, I believe he likes free religion. Yeah, so his favorite civic's free religion, so he won't be in this for too long. In fact, if he builds Shwedagon Paya, he will swap into free religion pretty early, because that's his favorite civic. And as far as the relations go right now, Shaka's worst enemy of Ahsoka and Hattie. Charlie's worst enemy of Napoleon. Ahsoka is just being ignored by everyone. He actually doesn't like most of the other leaders thanks to religion. Hattie really dislikes Shaka. First to die Shaka. Hey, it's in play. He's very weak. I don't think Hattie does it, but it's, you know, Charlemagne, if he like signs peace with Napoleon, could certainly do it. That said, Charlie is following the same religion as Shaka, so it's a little bit less likely in that regard. I feel like this is more like a game that just stalemates for a long time, and then Ahsoka just builds away in the corner. That was my read before the game started. Oh, I guess the one thing to check is Bismarck. Well, Bismarck doesn't really dislike anyone that much. He's cautious with Shaka, cautious with Napoleon. He's just in such a weak position, it's hard to see him doing much. And Ahsoka is pleased with Bismarck, so he can't declare on Bismarck. He could declare on anyone else, though. Again, he's so peaceful, though, it's hard to see that. Very early Golden Age, by the way. I suspect he's going to just start spamming missionaries at everyone. Because, like, I believe he... Does he have the shrine yet? No. Doesn't have the shrine yet, but he should have it soon. Right? What was his first great person? Did he use a first great person on a super specialist? Like an idiot? Oh no, he used it on a Golden Age, that's right. He used it on a Golden Age for some reason. That was a really weird decision, because the AI typically doesn't use great people on Golden Ages very much. Alright, meanwhile up here, this war is just still stalemated. Not really going anywhere between these two. I feel like long-term Napoleon's in a lot of trouble because he has a lot less territory, but he's had metal connected much longer. So he's going to come back, and like this city's not very well defended. Bismarck keeps, or not Bismarck, Charlemagne keeps spamming chariots, but he's about to finish ironworking. Maybe he got a great spy first. That would make sense, using the great spy on a golden age. So he'll start improving this shortly. And like I said, I feel like this city goes down. Can the super archer do it again? I don't know. City Raider 2 sword is pretty strong. Still feel like the city probably falls. Oh, nope, Charlie moved first and reinforced. Every time I think this city's gonna fall, it always holds. Every time. But the super archer's dead, it's just defended by a bunch of chariots. Hattie got her shrine. And look what we have. There are these things called roads. They are finally being added to German territory. Bismarck is starting to do stuff. Also note that Ahsoka's taken over the score lead for the moment. I wonder if he'll try to settle down here long term. Well, he would want to settle over here first. He's actually got a settler right here. But we got to watch to see if this city's Augsburg falls. It's just defended by chariots, which, as you guys probably know, are not very good defensive units. Oh, but look at this. Now there's a sword under production. Iron has been connected. It looks like Charlemagne was able to hold just long enough to get his iron connected, and like that's always a big deal in these games. Shaka on mysticism can finally expand borders. Oh my god. Maybe he'll finally be able to do something at no Bamba instead of building an Impy at 3 production per turn at size 2. I mean, he has farmed those Tundra tiles. Late game, in the post-biology era, you can actually do something with Tundra because you can get 3 food out of these tiles, and then that actually like is worth doing something with. But early in the game, yeah, Tundra's useless. So yeah, we still got quite a fight going on over here. Where did that Ahsoka settler go? He had it right over here. Nope, that's a fast worker. Is it in Shangian? Yeah, okay, in Shang. Maybe he doesn't feel like he has the economy to settle another city just yet. Or maybe the pathfinding's being weird again. Yeah, he's probably waiting until he has more economy. So Charlie will get his shrine here. Charlemagne is looking pretty strong. I'm liking the Ahsoka and Charlemagne predictions. I'm certainly glad I didn't try to go with Shaka and Napoleon. Alright, so here comes yet another stack. Now there's actually a sword in here. Can this city hold yet again? It's all swords and it's all chariots on defense. Let's see. Well, does not look like it's going to hold. For once, finally. Because it's down to 1 chariot. I mean, the sword will get finished between turns. But Augsburg did buy time, which is what Charlemagne needed. He just needed to buy time in this war to get his iron connected, which he finally did. And it's going to be a little tricky for Napoleon to hold this city that's 3 tiles away from Charlie's capital. But still significant that this city falls. Still, like I said, I think it'll be a hard hold for Napoleon. I guess we'll see, though. Charlemagne fighting France, yep. Meanwhile, Hattie and Shaka are still clashing over here. Hattie, now she has iron working as well, but she has not connected iron. Again, I think largely because it's in this war zone right on the border. So she's still chariots, and that is a problem for her, the fact that she's still stuck on nothing but chariots. I wonder if she'll be able to trade for iron from somebody. If Ahsoka gets a second source, he'll probably trade it, but as long as he's on 1 source, he will not trade it. Like, this is fine for the moment. War chariots are good. It's really lucky for her that she has war chariots as her unique unit. But that will not work forever, just relying on chariots. Just curious on the power bar graph here. Ahsoka's actually... Oh, look at all the losses Napoleon suffered. He really did lose a lot of units. So I guess both of these wars are mostly stalemates at the moment. I think the real big question is, would one of the other AIs try to get involved? Like, Bismarck's uncommitted, but kind of likes everybody. And now he can plot it pleased, unlike a lot of other leaders. And Ahsoka, I mean, he will not attack Bismarck, but he could attack anyone else too. It'd be kind of funny if Ahsoka went after Hatshepsut because of differing religions. Is Ahsoka plotting? Unlikely, but let's see. Nope, not at the moment. I didn't expect him to. He is very peaceful, almost as much as Gandhi. He's not as peaceful as Gandhi, but he's close. So now expect to see a whole bunch of units get crammed into the battlefields around Augsburg. How's he doing on war weariness? Oh, that's just unhappiness. That's not war weariness. That's just having a lot of cities unhappiness. And Napoleon only has... Does he only have 4 cities? 1, 2, 3, 4. He only has 4 cities aside from the one he captured. That is not a lot of production. At least he finally expanded borders. Nobamba still hasn't expanded borders, though. We'll always have Nobamba, you guys. The real poverty points. Kind of feel like the combat that's most interesting is the combat over here right now. The Shaka versus Hattie is mostly just a bunch of chariots running around. On chariots and impies on both sides. A lot of impies from Shaka. So yeah, the fighting here at Augsburg seems a little bit more interesting. That's a random group of swords going off by themselves, leaving the city mostly undefended. Ahsoka is on construction. Early construction from him. So if he were to fight someone, he would have catapults. He's definitely the tech leader. So here comes Napoleon about to launch a suicide attack. Anything going on down here? Nope, not really. The big question is, can Hattie actually get her iron connected? And can she keep it connected after that? Bismarck is still pitifully weak. Has not lost this city yet, but it feels like it's just a matter of time. Is not bothering to settle in the north. There are barbarian cities up there. How about in the deep south? There's a barbarian city here. It's not growing. Stuck at size 1. Most of the action still seems to be over here. It is weird that Charlemagne is not building more archers, considering how strong they are with the protective bonus. But this is the AI. The AI just suicided 3 units into Aachen, which has 50% defenses. And what's the first thing you build in this city? Well, barracks, obviously. Does Charlie have... Yes, he has archery. Remember he had the super archer, the city garrison 3 super archer. All right, 100 turns in. So let's look around and see. Oops, we'll just refresh the map too, just because. Not that I think a lot's changed. So where do we stand right now? Well, Ahsoka, who is not being attacked by anyone, is starting to pull away just because he is going 100% infrastructure. He has both of the wonder resources, marble and stone, and the fact that he loves to build wonders means he's likely to just keep pushing them. I would say he is the favorite right now. Hattie, good opening, but is still tied up in war. Oh, and she actually lost this resource here, I guess, because this city's just pumping out too much culture. Gonna get another great person soon. Maybe we'll see if Ahsoka's smart enough to build his shrine after that. Bismarck is totally useless. Very weak in this game. Napoleon and Shaka, the warmongers, are also weak. Charlie feels like he's on the rise, was slowed down by the lack of metals, but now that it's connected, I would expect him to do better. He is struggling a bit with Napoleon, though. So the game is just kind of being left for Ahsoka to run away with it, which is what I was thinking would happen. I mean, it's still early in the game, but like Ahsoka's GMP is way higher than anyone else's. And yes, some of that's culture, but like Shaka's GMP is just awful. Production, I guess he's not running away with production. That was the golden age. Food. He is starting to pull away in food, though. Power. He's actually number 2 in power. Bismarck is not very strong. Culture is, of course, a runaway. Let's look at beaker count real quick. Charlie's at 42. Shaka's at 19. Ahsoka's only at 42. Okay, so he's not starting to pull away in research yet. So I guess a lot of that was culture. Most of the AI seem to be around 30 to 40 beakers per turn. Shaka's the only one who's really struggling there at 19. So I have Hattie picked as first to die. She's definitely done better than I was thinking. I was kind of thinking that she would get attacked by Napoleon and Shaka, which has not happened in this game. If she ever gets her metals connected, she stands a serious chance of just flat out beating Shaka, who is just in a weak position. But she has not, and she's got a worker on top of the resource now. So she's got building the road first, and then if she mines it, it really will help her a lot. I mean, she's researching construction, so there's the potential here to attack Shaka and make some real progress. And now Charlie's actually got some non-chariot units, which looks like there's going to be another big battle at Augsburg. Although Charlie has somewhat neglected to defend his capital now. Oh, well, that is good news, I think, for Hattie, honestly. It'll give her time to connect this and then potentially build up a force before construction finishes. Real chance for Shaka to be first to die here. Real chance for that. All right. Got a big battle shaping up here. Let's see what goes on around Augsburg. Looks like that attack didn't go great for Charlie. Of course, there's also the potential for Shaka to go hitting Charlemagne instead. He does not like Ahsoka and does not like Hattie. He's actually, they've got that religious they've got that shared religion +3, so a little bit less likely to attack. Already likes Napoleon, although he could attack Napoleon too. Yeah, we could see a dogpile here. It's more likely Shaka goes after Hatshepsut again, but she's in a strong enough position that I think she just beats it if they fight again, because Shaka's really weak. Like, really weak, and I kind of thought that he would be, but I was not courageous enough to pick him as first to die. All right, so Ahsoka does get his shrine up, which will help him in his. I mean, by score points, he's kind of running away with the game right now. Again, score isn't everything, but I would certainly say he's in good shape right now. How does he feel? Doesn't like Shaka, doesn't like Napoleon. Kind of lukewarm towards his other neighbors. Yeah, I mean, first to die is still very much up in the air right now. I think there's a good contenders. I think there's multiple good contenders. Charlemagne is struggling a little bit more than I thought he would. I thought once he got his metal connected, he'd do better. But look, he's still building an awful lot of chariots. Dude, stop building the chariots. Build real units. Chariots are not good once. They're not too good once everybody has metals connected. You just use them to pick off axes, and that's about it. Napoleon's units they do have a lot of promotions. And this capital's not that well guarded, honestly. I don't know if Napoleon can pull it off, but I kind of thought that this city would get captured back very quickly, and that has not happened. So they're just kind of hanging out right now. And note that the iron has been connected. So that means Hattie can now build real units, not just chariots. Although war chariots are pretty good units. I don't know what all these Hatshepsut chariots are doing over here. I don't know if she was chasing after a barb originally or what. French units are staying. Oh, wait, did the French pillage? No, they never disconnected it. Maybe they did temporarily, I don't know. I didn't see it happen, though. So this is where the only fighting is going on right now. I doubt it'll be too long before Shaka goes back to war, though. They were standing on the iron mine. Maybe that was it. Maybe it got pillaged. That could be it. And then he just cranked out chariots because of that. A lot of units in this city at Augsburg. And walls are under construction. Like, if the wall's finished, it's going to be very hard for Charlemagne to take that back. Looks like just a bloodbath on both sides, honestly. No. Was Charles Martel fighting for the Holy Roman Empire or fighting for the French? Good question. Which side was he really on? Anyway, so note that there's a lot of happiness. So this is one of the things that kind of goes on under the hood that's not always too visible. The AI really struggles with happiness, and more happiness resources mean a much stronger Civ. So look, Hattie's got 4 of them connected, and there's only 1 here for Ahsoka, so he's really been limited by happiness. This is why hereditary rule is so crucial. He's getting 7 happy faces from hereditary rule. Like, the early oracling monarchy is often a really good choice for them because it allows them to grow their cities. Like, look, 7 happy faces from hereditary rule here. That's part of the reason why Ahsoka is doing well, is he actually has happiness to grow his cities. Even his garbage water cities are already up to size, like this one's size 6, even though this is a terrible city. So yeah, makes a difference. Now Ahsoka probably does need to get some more territory long term. And I don't know what his prospects are for expansion, but he's definitely got really good infrastructure in the territory he does have. Perhaps he'll expand more in like the deep south long term, or go for a barb city somewhere if he can get open borders with one of these leaders. I don't know. So for right now, the only war is this one over here, just kind of an ongoing bloodletting between these two sides. Lots of units being traded to not a lot of a purpose. I guess we should check to see if Shaka's plotting another war. Yep. All right. Going to war with someone again. Let's see if he's got a stack accumulating. It looks like his stack's building up here. Hatshepsut has construction tech now. Oh. Oh. That was not expected. That's a little surprising. Well, sometimes the AI does stuff that you are not expecting at all. Like Hatshepsut declaring on Ahsoka. This could be good news for Ahsoka if Shaka piles in on the other side and he starts taking territory. I guess those borders really did cause tension between the two sides. So, let's see. I mean, Ahsoka is much, much stronger on the power bar graph, so this may not have been the best decision. Yeah, different religion and a lot of border tension. That explains it. But Hattie's territory is a strategic nightmare to defend. Look at this crescent shape. I don't know how you defend this. Like, this lake, kind of interesting from a geographic perspective. This lake here kind of creates a weird tactical puzzle. I guess that's what she was doing with all these random war chariots. She was scouting out to attack. Her units got teleported here into this hole in the culture, and then now they're like pushing out here. That's actually a pretty good stack from Ahsoka. I don't see this going too well. Yeah, he just cleaned up these attacks pretty easily. And then just got a great general. And Shaka's still plotting war. Now, he still might attack someone else. It's not guaranteed that he attacks Hattie. This city now has walls, which means Charlie's not doing anything until construction tech. But like, there was an Ahsoka stack that had a bunch of catapults in it. Where did that go? Here it is. It's right here. He used it to clean up those poor chariots. Charlemagne does have construction? Oh yeah, he does. You're right. It's because he's building a catapult. So that's the Code of Laws? No, that's the Theology religion, I guess. Did he pop a great profit for that? Yeah, that's the Theology religion. Okay. And now he's going to grab the Code of Laws religion, too. And potentially look to... I mean, like, if this city gets captured, this is a super valuable city. It's got a shrine in it. Look at the beautiful tiles here. Like, if this city were to get captured, that would be a disaster for Hattie. Well, she's still running around with mostly war chariots. She's doing some pillaging. Well, those sides... Oh, I mean, this city is not exactly well defended here. So that was an auto-raised city. I guess the barb cities don't have sailing yet, so they can't work water tiles and actually grow. That's why they're stuck at size 1. I was going to say this city is not really very well defended, but it's just random war chariots out here, so it's not exactly a serious attack force either. The main stack for Ahsoka is right here, and that's a pretty good stack. That's a pretty good stack. Just kind of watching where this is going. Yeah, that's probably going to capture a city when it arrives somewhere. Let's see how the trading's been going in terms of power rating recently. Not good for Ahsoka. He's apparently losing these trades pretty badly. Interesting. I would not have expected that. I would have thought he would be doing better. I guess it's partly because he's building wonders in all of his cities, like a moron. Hey Ahsoka, this might not be the time to crank out the mausoleum in the Hagia Sophia. Maybe you should build some actual units. But yeah, for the most part, this game's pretty stalemated. Napoleon also now has catapults, so I don't know. I don't see how Napoleon succeeds in his war, but somehow he's been succeeding. And they're still wondering when and where Shaka is going to intervene. Islam founded in the former Barb city. That's the Code of Laws religion. So yeah, here's Ahsoka's force. I guess he's going for Alexandria, which makes sense because it's like deep within his borders already. That should be a pretty easy capture for him. Is this all right? So there are catapults bombarding here, although I don't think Charlemagne has enough forces to take that city. This war just seems to be a big stalemate. Is Bismarck actually doing anything? I mean, he basically has like 4 cities or something like that. Ahsoka collecting all the in real life Indian religions. Yeah, he kind of is, isn't he? He's got Buddhism, Hinduism, and now Islam. Yeah, pretty much. Good way of putting that. Oh wow, that was all the defenses of that city. Looks like Hattie now has elephants. And the Hagia Sophia. Okay, so these two made peace. Augsburg was given back. Totally pointless war, but it does mean now that Napoleon and Charlie are freed up to join other wars. We'll look at that in a minute. I think this attack, yeah, this attack's going to succeed. This attack has a lot of units. Like, there's no way that city holds out. So, +1 city for Ahsoka, -1 for Hattie. It would have been smarter to go for this spot, but it was a pretty easy conquest, so not the worst one to grab. Still wondering, is Hattie still the worst enemy? All right, so Hattie is still the worst enemy of Shaka and Napoleon. Somehow also the worst enemy of Napoleon, despite Napoleon attacking Holy Rome earlier. So Hattie, despite playing a good start, still looks like she's in a kind of a dangerous position. And by kind of, I mean an extremely dangerous position, because 3 of the 5 other civs in the game seem to hate her guts right now. Shaka did not end up ever declaring war, somewhat surprisingly. We'll see if this stack heals up where it goes afterwards. I don't expect this war to continue for too long, though, because both Ahsoka and Hatshepsut both are very likely to sign peace. Like, they're some of the leaders who like to peace out when in wars. It's one of the things that the different AIs have is like how much they prefer to like continue the war as opposed to signing peace. And both of them are very high on the will sign a peace treaty kind of ratings. If Ahsoka goes for Heliopolis and Shaka pillages the iron, then Hattie has no metal or horses. It's true. Those are her 2 strategic resources. Nothing up here. Let's just check in on diplomacy real quick. So Shaka doesn't like Ahsoka, also doesn't like Hatshepsut, is friendly with Napoleon. Not surprising. This guy really hates Ahsoka. Yeah, Ahsoka needs to get in free religion so that all these people stop hating him for his religion. He'll probably build Shwedagon Paya and hop into free religion relatively soon. He really hates Hattie because of the war. Bismarck kind of likes everybody. And Napoleon really dislikes Ahsoka and Hatshepsut. So we could see some of these leaders dogpiling on Ahsoka as well. It's just, it's so much harder for them to reach him is kind of the problem. Oh, here comes some more units from Hattie. This looks like a reasonable stack. Oh, Chichen Itza, though, is going to make it harder to take down defenses. And for once, Ahsoka doesn't seem to have wonders to build. So Napoleon may be planning an attack against her. He seems to have a lot of units right on the border. Yeah, elephants. I don't think Ahsoka has ivory for elephants. He does not. So he cannot counter the war elephants with his own units. He is going to build longbows, though. So here comes Napoleon piling in. As Bismarck builds a wonder. So, obviously not good news for Egypt. Good news for all of us who have Egypt as first to die in this game. Does look like Hattie is really putting a target on her back in this one. Of course, we still have Shaka out there too, although I don't think he's plotting. Man, is he weak in this game. I mean, he's still got we have enough on our hands. He's had that for a while now. Does this stack have any catapults in it? No, it does not. Did you just forget to bring your catapults, buddy? Because you are not going to be doing much with those units on their own. Yeah, so Hatshepsut getting dogpiled, just a very likely outcome in this game. This stack is very heavy on catapults, but that's about all it has. So it'll be interesting to see who can take territory here if the dogpile on Hattie continues, as we're kind of expecting it to. So this will, of course, pull Hatshepsut's attention away from her war with India. Okay, where is that Barb City captured? Probably in the far north? Yep. Oh, that's what Bismarck was doing. Raising a size 1 Barb City instead of actually doing something. There's one down here too, but Shaka's been ignoring it. He doesn't seem to have a lot of units right now. Ahsoka kind of lost a lot of units in this war. Feels like he should be doing stronger militarily than he is. I think he's in like, oh, he finally did found. Oh, you remember how you guys said he would found on the iron? Well, he did in fact found on the iron, just so we could have another city with no food. But one of these cities will connect that at some point. Still, I mean, the more territory you have, the stronger the civ is. So even though he has a lot of ice fishing villages, at some point they will be productive. Does Napoleon have construction? Yes, he does. It looks like this stack got hit by Ahsoka. Didn't actually kill the units, but knocked a lot of them down to lower health. And Napoleon's still trickling in units from up here, although his units are all seem to be dying without doing anything. But it just, we know the AI does not do well in 2 front wars. Yeah, so that attack force from Hattie seems to be getting cleaned up. Is Charlie plotting war? That's a good question. Nope, couldn't betray our close friends. So if he's doing the smart thing right now for him is actually just to build a little bit, like get stronger. Oh, look at this, he settled this city. Just like tech up a little bit, get stronger, let the other competitors fight it out amongst themselves. Probably the smartest thing he can do right now. A lot of low health units here. I think what's hurting Ahsoka is he doesn't really have units that can deal with the war elephants that most of the other leaders have. He'll do better if he can tech up to like maces or something. Maces or crossbows or something. Meanwhile, Napoleon's just spamming elephants everywhere. Like sent out a random catapult that got cleaned up off by itself. So that stack that was threatening Vijayanagar finally got cleaned up. And Ahsoka actually has a lot of units there. If he heals them up, can probably take a target of his choice, whether that's Heliopolis or the correct choice, which would be Elephantine. That city is not on a hill. That would be a super valuable prize to take. We'll see if Ahsoka's smart enough to do it. I mean, that stack's 2 catapult heavy. He needs some non-catapults there. But he does have a City Raider 3 sword, which would kill basically anything if the defenses are down. Napoleon needs to put his units in an actual stack. I'm looking in some of these other leaders to see if they look like they're plotting. Charlemagne just seems to be building right now. Look at this little city he crammed in on the Shaka border. Look how strong this has become. Size 10. Not bad. Just seize control of this. Poor Shaka is like no land at all. And Bismarck also just seems to be in builder mode right now. Alright, so looks like Elephantine's been chosen as the spot. Very few actual attackers, but with that many catapults to deal collateral, it's not going to matter. Everything will die once that collateral gets applied, and it's not like Elephantine's even well defended. Ahsoka looks like he's making his move. Bismarck has also picked up Charlie's religion, which could be significant. Again, Ahsoka would do well to get into free religion. Although he did pick up aesthetics. So how far away is he from Shwedagon? Which tech is that at again? I'm trying to remember what unlocks. It is aesthetics. Okay. Now he doesn't have gold for double production speed, so might not be the one. Might not be the one who builds that wonder, but I think there's good odds that he is the one who builds it. And here comes a Napoleon legitimate stack. Hattie has decided apparently to suicide some horse archers into longbows behind city defenses. Yeah, these catapults may actually be able to take Memphis. We'll see. But this force 100% can take Elephantine. There's very little in this city. And it is not on a hill, as I said. I believe Charlie has a shrine. I believe he did build the Christian shrine. Hold on, which is his Christian holy city? Yeah, it's actually very valuable. 22 gold per turn here. It's helping him quite a bit. Alright, so there's the defenses are gone in Elephantine. So now the catapults will just do collateral. I mean, there's not a ton of actual attackers here. There's a longbow, 3 swords, and like 4 chariots. I feel like, though, with enough collateral damage, you'll still take the city. I could be wrong, though. Yeah. The power of catapults. If you do enough collateral damage, everything's going to die. So that's pretty big. Ahsoka gained a very valuable part of the map there. Now this city's at... Alright, well, a lot of this is going to get grabbed by Munich, but this city probably... Actually, this... No, never mind. This city is... 1, 2, 3. This is 20, 40, 60... there should be enough culture from Vijayanagara to hold this spot. I can't imagine this being taken over by Bismarck. I can't imagine giving up this city either with a shrine in it. Still, Munich finally gets to work tiles now. So Shaka, is he ever going to get involved in this war? Yes, no? Guess we'll see. Yeah, the German city only has 100 culture. Like, it just popped the 3rd ring borders. So it shouldn't be too hard for this city to get some culture out. I guess we'll see. Maybe Ahsoka will be an idiot and give that city away, but I doubt it. I'm really curious to see if he's ever smart enough to put a city on this tile. I don't think he will, because the AI generally doesn't cram in cities like that, but it would be a really smart thing to do. Alright, so Napoleon's still sieging up Memphis. So the defenses are down. You know, this is probably enough to take this spot, honestly. Let's see. Alright, so yeah, Hattie looks like she is probably on the way out now. Because she just lost 2 of her best cities. Well, that shakes things up, doesn't it? Bismarck has declared war on Napoleon. I wasn't expecting that. Well, that's going to slow down the conquest of Hattie. Because she was about to die. I mean, she only has... Wait, she only has 2 cities left. Holy cow. I didn't realize she was down to 2 cities. France versus Germany, yeah. With the potential still for Charlemagne to get involved too. Yeah, Hattie is so... With only 2 cities left, I don't see how she rebuilds forces quickly enough. Charlie and Ahsoka are number 1 and number 2 in power right now. So that's interesting. Where's Bismarck going? Alright, he's headed for Paris, I think. Or maybe he's headed for Lyon. Well, I think I'm going to be wrong about number of wars. I thought it would be low. Does not look like it's going to be low. I don't know what this group of 1 sword escorting 5 catapults is doing. It is helping Ahsoka that he's building like every wonder. Alright, so now what do you do, Napoleon? Do you start pulling these forces back? Do you continue pressing on Thebes? What does he do? Does he continue attacking or does he move back to defend his territory? Plus we've still got Charlemagne, who's still uncommitted, does not like Hattie. Interesting, he dislikes Hattie. Again, it's that religion penalty. He doesn't like Ahsoka either. Funny that he kind of likes... Wait a minute. He's actually pleased with Napoleon, thanks to +8 for we care for our brothers and sisters of the faith. Okay. Yeah, apparently doesn't care about that little war thing that happened back in the day. Apparently doesn't not bothered by that. And I apparently missed that. Shaka declares on Charlie. Okay. That 9 war prediction not looking too good. Some of the other things are looking decent though. This is a good opportunity for Charlie to expand his territory at Shaka's expense. Because Charlie's up here and Shaka's here. Feels a little bit like it's signing his. I agree. Feels like signing a death warrant. I agree with that. All right. So now everybody's in a war. We've got 3 different 1v1. Oh, never mind. I was going to say we have 3 different 1v1 wars, but we don't. Hey, Ahsoka, you're going to need more than 1 sword to capture a city. Um, again, he's continuing to build wonders back there in his territory. I'm still waiting to see what Napoleon does with his stack. If this is the best you could do, Shaka, this is pretty sad. Just hoping Hattie can last long enough to be first eliminated before Shaka gets taken out. Like, this will get rid of the borders, but there's 1 sword, so yeah. This city is not on a hill. This one is also not on a hill. I think Ahsoka just needs to get a stack together. All right, so it looks like Shaka's pulling back, or not Shaka, Napoleon's pulling back to deal with the incoming German units instead of continuing onwards to attack Hatshepsut. Actually got a pretty substantial siege of Paris going on here. Or maybe they're going for Thebes down here? I don't know. Nope, Napoleon's like, save my capital? Nah. We don't need to do that. What we need to do is we need to attack Hatshepsut. That's what we really need to do here. Also, a random great merchant walking around. So yeah, this city should be fine. I don't see it having much chance to revolt. It should quickly gain control of its first string tiles. Shaka taking notes from Ragnar. Yeah, similar comparison, I agree. So there goes Hattie's capital. And Ahsoka's got a little force over here too. Although this city is better defended. So yeah, it looks like Hattie will in fact be first to die. And everyone who picked that can breathe a sigh of relief. There should be an attack coming in against Paris shortly, although there's a lot of defenders, but there's also a lot of attackers. This is going to be a total bloodbath for somebody. We'll do a big comparison after some of this fighting is done. The attack has not come in yet. Bismarck finishing Statue of Zeus does kind of matter. Like, that's one of the game's more significant wonders for AI versus AI competitions. He's actually got some decent wonders in here. Parthenon under construction here. I keep wondering if Ahsoka's going to build Shwedagon or not. He hasn't tried it yet. I think it's because he doesn't have gold is the reason why he's been skipping it thus far. All right, let's see what happens in this big battle at Paris. As expected, Shaka's attack has not done anything, and Charlie is still accumulating his own forces over there. All right, it looks like that attack did not succeed because there's a lot of injured French units, and there's like no German units alive. So that looks like that was a total disaster for Bismarck. He committed a lot of units, and he did not achieve anything. Now, if these catapults here combine with these units to take down the defenses of Heliopolis, wow, that's a lot of workers. Holy cow, is that a lot of workers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 8 workers in Heliopolis. A lot of workers. All right, well, back for round 2 over here, apparently. I want to see the German power bar. Yeah, that's a pretty good power loss there. So Ahsoka is actually number 1 in power. Hattie's on her way out. Yeah, this city seems to be just fine as far as culture goes. Not about to lose its first string. It does not control the gems yet. I wouldn't be surprised if it does long term get these tiles. I mean, these are first ring, so we'll probably be able to control its first ring eventually and get those gems for Ahsoka. So now he's on Sistine. Okay. Sistine is big for... That means much, much more likely to get a cultural victory if he successfully builds Sistine. Just because the AI runs so many specialists. I've been checking to see if he starts Shweta Gampaya, but he hasn't. Just because I think free religion is the civic that would really help. Oh yeah, open borders. We'll sign open borders with you, Hattie. Yeah, she is not long for this world. Ahsoka actually combining all those together. Only has 2 potential legendaries. That's true. He doesn't have a great third city, does he? Shangyun is probably his best third city, but it was a late, it was a late one for him to pick up. That's a good point. He does kind of only have 2. Yeah. Agreed. He doesn't have a great third spot for a city. Well, so like Napoleon's heading down here, but I think pretty sure this spot's going to be gone by the time he gets here. Bismarck has been pushed out of French territory, and we still don't have a Holy Roman attack force yet. Has not materialized. Again, this was an unexpected war that Charlie was not expecting to fight, so he did not have a big stack like ready to go when the war began. All right, that's it. Hattie is first to die. Not exactly a shock. That decision to attack Ahsoka was a big mistake. Big mistake. And now Ahsoka is in really good shape. He got yet another religion. All right, so let's put this in the spreadsheet, shall we? You guys can see that, right? All right, so as widely expected in the prediction contest, Hatshepsut was first to die in this game. About 70% of the people picked her to be first to die. Somewhat surprisingly, Ahsoka is the one who gets the kill. And she is out on turn 156. Game 5, turn 156. And game 5. All right, so as expected, yeah, like I said, about 70% of the contest had that. So hooray for all of us who scored points. She was not in a good position. In fact, if you swap her position and Ahsoka's position, she actually has decent odds in this game, but that was not the position she rolled. So RIP to poor Hattie. And let me do one turn, and then let's check the situation. Let's do like a larger check of wider game situation. All right. So this is a good moment to switch over to the classical era music because we're approaching probably the halfway point of this game. So I think ironworking is one tech that everyone has already. So I'll just award myself that. If I can find it. There we go. All right, let's look at our bar graphs. GNP. So it looks like Ahsoka is clearly the lead in that, and then Charlemagne and Bismarck are close, and then Shaka and Napoleon are way behind. Production seems fairly close, except that Napoleon and Shaka are bad. Food, Charlemagne and Ahsoka are clearly leading. Napoleon is on the upswing because he captured some cities. Shaka is bad. Power, Ahsoka's number 1. Charlie apparently lost a lot of units when Shaka invaded. I mean, they both took pretty serious losses, but he's been able to rebuild a little bit better. Bismarck lost a lot of units attacking France. Looks like Napoleon didn't really lose much of anything. And as far as research rate goes, Charlie 177, Shaka 40. Ugh, 40? What? 177 to 40. Ahsoka's 198. Expect that to go up. Bismarck 182. Napoleon 152. All right, everybody else is pretty close. Shaka's really far behind in that regard. So he's kind of stuck on the current level of military tech. He's not going to be... It looks like he's not going to hit crossbows, and let's just do the Charlie and Shaka comparison here. So Charlemagne has machinery. He does not have civil service, but he does have longbows, and he is about to get engineering. He'll probably research civil service next. Whereas Shaka does not have machinery, does not have civil service, does not even have code of laws, does not have engineering. Yeah, he's behind. Ahsoka has the same amount of military tech, but the difference is he has all of the he has like all of the peaceful techs at the top of the tree. Also, he's already picked up Divine Right, so expect to see Spiral Minaret. And Napoleon is early civil service, about the same as Charlemagne. Yeah, so expect a lot more wonder building from Ahsoka. Wait, where was Memphis? Oh, this city was captured, and then it was captured back. It was a double capture, taken twice in the same turn. Looks like France was able to take that back. I am wondering, though, if we're starting to consolidate into... I mean, I guess Germany and France are roughly comparable. It feels like France is a little bit stronger between the two, but they feel fairly comparable. I was going to say, I was wondering if we're just consolidating to like 3 powers left, because it looks like Ahsoka's clearly ahead in the southeast, and then, I mean, it's just a matter of time until Charlemagne runs over Shaka, unless he gives him a peace treaty, but like, this city's going to get captured. So it looks like Ahsoka and Charlie are going to be the 2 dominant AIs, which is great for me, because I have them 1 and 2 in the picking contest. Just need Shaka to drag this out long enough that Charlemagne is weaker than Ahsoka, which already seems to be the case. Yeah, like there's 1 Shaka city down. And it's not like Shaka can afford to give away cities. Shaka, I was going to say maybe able to capture this city, but does not look like that's going to happen. He can take the defenses down, but that city there is too well defended. Shaka just got squeezed in the early game. Like, he just got squeezed pretty badly in this one. It was, I think I said before the game, Shaka in this game was a little bit like Catherine in her opening round game. A lot of people liked her because of the traits and because of some past success. But the map just was not in favor of it. Yeah, so this city is climbing in culture. Yeah. Will almost certainly get control of the first string tiles, as I said before. Will we see Ahsoka continue settling the icy tundra? There's room for more cities down here now. We'll see what he ends up doing. You can also connect that fish resource. Oh, I guess he did connect a fish resource. Yeah, he actually did connect this, just for the health. We should do a check-in. So who is not at war? Ahsoka is the only one who's not at war. He really doesn't like Shaka. He likes Bismarck. He will not declare it pleased. He could attack Napoleon. He could attack Charlie. But he's such a peaceful guy. I would expect him just to build for the time being. Now, watch him prove me completely wrong and attack somebody, but that would be my guess. So over here, Napoleon's sending some forces forward. Looks like Munich is the target there. And over here, it looks like Holy Rome's reconsolidating after their successful attack. But like Ahsoka's about to found yet another religion. He's on philosophy tech right now. All right, so here's the next attack at Bulawayo, which definitely cannot hold against those crossbows. So that definitely looks like Shaka's in the process of being grinded out of the game right now. Meanwhile, over here, this war seems like stalemate. I don't think either Napoleon or Bismarck is strong enough to conquer the other. At least not fast. It's very close between the 2 of them. There's Spiral Minaret under production. Yeah, I guess the lack of a gold resource is stopping him from Ahsoka from building Shwedagon. So 4 religions for India, indeed. Definitely a situation where free religion would literally be a good choice to pick because he's got all these religions. Science bonus and the happiness from all those religions. Wait, Ahsoka didn't have metal casting? That seems like an oversight. Oh, he rushed Pi with a great engineer. I missed that. You're right, he did rush it. Okay. I'm sorry, I totally missed that. Put it in the capital too. Okay. So yeah, he can swap into free religion if he wants. We'll see what he does. It is his favorite civic, so I kind of think he will. And yeah, this war between France and Germany is going nowhere right now. All right, he just went free religion. So just went free religion, and that will improve Ahsoka's relations with everyone. Really, really smart move. I know the AI doesn't think in these terms, but the fact that everyone else in the world was Christian except for him just will improve relations with everyone across the board. See, like no one is not the worst enemy of anyone. Bismarck is the worst enemy of Napoleon. So yeah, he is pleased with Bismarck. He could attack Charlie. He could attack anyone else other than Bismarck right now. Although again, he's very peaceful, so not as likely for that to happen. And that's kind of where we stand. Charlie has now gone to cautious, as opposed to being annoyed earlier. They just haven't had a lot of dealings with one another. So cautious. They do have a resource trade going on to improve relations. So not too much more is likely to happen until Shaka's out of the game. This war is likely just to be a stalemate over here. Look how much those Indian borders are getting pushed out by everyone too. Gonna gain cultural control of all this territory. If anyone takes over Napoleon cities later, then they'll just get swallowed up by Indian culture, much like we saw with Gandhi earlier. Time for Bismarck to buy Ahsoka into the war. It's not impossible. But Ahsoka, again, is not super likely to join in these wars. Still, we should see if he's plotting. No, not currently plotting war. Just building. Building, building, building. Building a lot of catapults. He seems to like catapults for some reason. All right, Napoleon's gotten a kind of a pitiful attack going on over here. That is not going to succeed. Not nearly enough units. Looks like it got wiped out. Spiral Minaret, finished. Yeah, so the stalemate, it's just a total stalemate between Bismarck and Napoleon, and otherwise Shaka's dying, and like that's what's going on in the game right now. Question will be how long until Ahsoka reaches rifling. If he reaches rifling without getting attacked, I do think he wins the game. Could be wrong though. Charlemagne's at 200 beakers per turn. Ahsoka's only at 50%, although he's running a lot of gold this turn for some reason. I don't know if he was upgrading or what. Maybe not. Okay, so these two did sign peace. And apparently Memphis was given away in the peace treaty for no clear reason at all. Okay, buddy. Kind of weird. This city will... Wait, hold on. 20, 40, 60, 80... Yeah, this city will be in range of Vijayanagar's culture when it hits 5,000. So this could be a potential flip for sure. I don't know why Napoleon gave that city away. Kind of a weird decision. But the end is nigh for Shaka. He's getting munched on by Holy Rome. Pretty good here. So I think we'll just continue going through these turns until Holy Rome's out of the game. I see that Charlie's on guilds. Napoleon Y. This is why I didn't want to back Napoleon. Like, the game was set up for him to do well, I think, but Napoleon's just not a good AI. Like, we've seen it before in past seasons. Also, what is a Shaka Great Prophet doing running around down here? Okay, buddy. I have no idea what he's going to do with that Great Prophet. Yeah, so as we said, the end is nigh for old Shaka here. Just 2 cities left. I am amused that this city, that Nobamba is the capital of the Zulu territories. If this is your capital city, you're in a lot of trouble. Nobamba, the Zulu capital. And with Charlie picking up guilds, it's just going to get worse if he's able to build knights. Somehow Ahsoka has gotten this city to size 11. It really helps that the AI needs so little food to grow its cities on deity. The fact that they pay such reduced costs for food growth is pretty impressive. All right, let's Keep going. No Bamba. Ahsoka builds yet another wonder. I'm a little surprised that Ahsoka's research isn't a little bit better. Oh well. That's a lot of wonders in this city. He should be spreading his religions around a little bit more than he is. Meanwhile, Charlie's building some knights. Very nice. All right, no surprise there. One city to go. Poor Shaka. Just didn't have it this game. Although he did get a fair amount of people in the prediction contest to go to make him their pick. So obviously this is making Holy Rome much stronger. Holy Rome and India have been the big winners from like this first sequence of conflicts. Bismarck's on chemistry, wow. Ahsoka just went caste system. Interesting. His priests specialists are actually quite good, thanks to getting Sistine and Angkor Wat. And he does have plenty of room for more shrines. I think he's got 4 holy cities. 2 of them have shrines. Any chance Napoleon is plotting? I mean, it's Napoleon, so he probably is. No, he's not right now. So, like, if you zoom out the map, Napoleon's territory really looks like this is kind of an obscure reference, but in historical terms, when the real Charlemagne divided up when his king, like his empire was divided up between his 3 grandsons, this looks like the middle one, the one that went to like you've got Germany here, you've got France here, and then you've got that middle kingdom that like fell apart immediately, Lotharingia. Thank you, chat supplied it. Okay, so not too obscure for chat. That's good. We have what is it? It was Neustria, Austrasia, and Lotharingia were the 3. And then the one in the west became France, and the one in the east became Germany, and the one in the middle just kind of disintegrated. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm seeing this. Shaka's like, and you're talking about that as I'm dying? Yeah, buddy, you can keep demanding all you want. You have 1 city left. It's not going to happen. Now I want to start an EU4 game. All right, so bye, Shaka. It was fun. You gave us lots of good times, but this was not your game. All right, Zulus have been destroyed. Did not make it to turn 200. All right, let's put it in our spreadsheet. All right, here we go. Shaka, one of our favorites for this game, is out. Not for the competition, but just for this game. Just not a good starting position for him. All right, so Charlemagne, who I do not like as a leader, nonetheless scores a kill and looks like he has a good chance of getting a top 2 finish in this game. And Shaka is out on turn, was it 180, 189? 5, turn 189. I would sure love to have that. All right, let's put this back on Civ4. Would sure love to have that Ahsoka #1, Charlemagne #2. Could we just end the game right now? Because I would kind of like it if that's the way the game ends right now. With nailing all 3 of the leader picks, first, second, and first to die. Long way to go from here, though. Although I do think Ahsoka and Charlie are significantly stronger than the other 2 leaders in this game. But as we said, a long way to go. All right, let's refresh the map. So Charlie is going to be very strong, probably roughly as strong as Ahsoka now after this. Oh, look at this. Ahsoka's coming down here to hit the Barb City. Too bad it's going to be auto-raised. And Germany's coming down here too. Man, these guys hate the barbarians so much. It's like the entire military of 3 nations down here. All right, well, we've got more interesting stuff to watch because Napoleon's back at war again. And Bismarck has, oh man, and Bismarck has his whole army down in the southern tundra while this is going on. I've got to screenshot this actually, hold on. Napoleon declaring war on Bismarck while literally like half the German army is, well, not half the German army, but he does have a lot of units down here in the southern tundra, raising a barbed city. Bismarck is about to get grenadiers. Yeah, let's just look at their power ratings real quick. Yeah, Bismarck's actually higher in power. Yeah, Bismarck's actually the stronger of the two. How about we look at the relations between everybody? All right, so this ties up these two. Who's left in the game? Ahsoka, pleased with Charlie, pleased with Bismarck. Not pleased with Napoleon. Charlie, friendly with Bismarck, pleased with Napoleon. All right, cautious towards Ahsoka. So this is kind of significant that our two most powerful leaders, one of them can declare on the other. I wouldn't say it's super likely, but it's in play. As time goes on, they probably will improve their relationship with one another via like trading and such. But for right now, that possibility is there. So Napoleon is attacking here. He hates me because the relationship's under 100 with the Observer Civ. Yeah, so Napoleon's attacking this spot here. Bismarck is about to grab Grenadiers, which will be certainly better than anything Napoleon has, but Napoleon does grab a size 1 city on the border. Definitely worthwhile. Ahsoka continuing to build every wonder. And this city is now going to be under some cultural pressure. We'll see if Napoleon captures it, they'll just go right over to India. Looks pretty well defended, though. It's actually a random Indian catapult moving through there. I am wondering again if Ahsoka is going to settle more cities in the south. I mean, he settled all of these. You figure he'll settle more down here at some point. So yeah, this war I don't think goes too far between Napoleon and Bismarck. Maybe the Grenadiers do make a difference, though. We'll have to wait and see. Bismarck is higher in power, and that's before he swapped over to the Grenadiers. So Napoleon may be biting off more than he can chew here. In fact, that seems to happen a lot with Napoleon. One of the reasons why he's not a good AI. The smart thing to do for Charlemagne would be to attack Napoleon, but he won't do that because he's pleased thanks to that faith, shared faith. So he won't do that right now. Or the other smart thing to do would be hit Ahsoka before he hits rifling tech. There's probably about 30 to 50 turns before he's on rifling. After that, it'll be too late. Ahsoka will be too strong. But there's a window there to do that. Here goes Napoleon. I was going to say I don't think this is enough forces to take that city, but it's actually not very well defended, so maybe. It's the only war going on right now, so we might as well watch it. Yeah. Request spam. Bismarck seems to be attacking down here. Now, have the borders at Heliopolis expanded up to that spot? Let's see, 2040s. No, not quite yet, although they're not far off. When they expand again at 500 culture, they would swallow up that city. Didn't you literally just ask for my world map? Or maybe that was one of the other leaders? I don't know. Still, there's a good chance, as we saw with Gandhi, that as these cities are captured, they just get converted over to India because India's culture is so strong. Oh, and India's about to build Taj Mahal, too. Is Ahsoka going for rifling? I don't think he is. I think he's just grabbing printing press, but I wanted to... No, see, printing press and then up to democracy for Statue of Liberty. He will get the mausoleum, which is his unique building up here at Constitution. Surprising he's not going for liberalism. The smart thing to do would be grab education and then use liberalism on, like, democracy. But once that Statue of Liberty, I'm assuming. Let's see if Thebes gets captured. Looks like the stack got consolidated here. Oh, Bismarck now settling the... Apparently he hit whatever threshold he needed to settle the tundra because he planted multiple cities there. And this attack may take Cologne. It's not very well defended. Then again, there are Grenadiers. That force is pretty beat up, so probably not. Thebes is more likely because there's Grenadiers attacking longbows. Yep. Can we get a look? Yeah, so turn 200, a good time to look at some of this. Oh, look at this. And Charlie tossed a city down here in the ice for whatever reason. So again, there's a decent chance this will get swallowed up by Indian culture down the road when the borders expand. Certainly if Napoleon ever takes these cities, it would. All right, so Napoleon grabbed a size 1 city, but he lost a much better city in Thebes. So let's look at everybody's tech rate and then look at where they are in the tech tree. So Charlie, 330 beakers. Ahsoka, 325. Very comparable. Ahsoka is ahead on the tech tree, but the two of them are close in beakers. Bismarck is also right there, and Napoleon is not. So Napoleon is almost certainly the next one out of this game. That said, Ahsoka is about to build Taj Mahal. Let's look at their tech trees as requested. So Charlie has finished... He's finished the bottom of the tech tree. Yeah, he's been hitting the bottom of the tech tree with gunpowder. And now he's emphasizing military tradition, so he's going to have cuirassiers. Ahsoka is not as far ahead as he probably should be in tech, and he's emphasizing democracy. Again, when will Ahsoka go for rifling? He is vulnerable until he heads there. Bismarck is not making that mistake. He's headed straight for rifling. Military science and rifling. Wow, I didn't realize he had such militaristic tech preferences. Napoleon's probably trying to do the same thing, but he is way behind. Way behind. So this probably is not good for Napoleon. Bismarck's going to hit rifling way, way, way before he does. So, not looking good for the French here in this game. I'd say things are pretty firmly against them. Okay, so we passed an important threshold here. Charlemagne is now pleased with Ahsoka. Their resource trade lasted long enough to pull them up to +3, and Charlie does not plot war at pleased. So he will not declare on anyone in the game right now. And Ahsoka can only attack Napoleon right now. I don't think he is plotting war right now, but yeah. He is very content to build away at the moment. So this attack at Cologne is still ongoing. We'll keep an eye on it.
It is entirely seemly for a young man killed in battle to lie mangled by the bronze.
That's the Observer Civ discovering bronze working. More Napoleon III than one. So India raised up Barb City. Bismarck's only tech flavor is military. That would explain his path to the tech tree. Oh, we actually had do we have a revolt here? Oh no, that city was just captured. Never mind. It was only recently captured. I'm forgetting that was only taken like a turn ago. So there's the Golden Age. This was a very valuable prize, Essen here. So it's just Napoleon's army is all medieval, and Bismarck's army is about to be all Renaissance, which is not a winning proposition, to say the least. Yeah, these cities do not control a lot of tiles, do they? Elephantine's building Versailles now. I wonder if Ahsoka's going to go for culture. He is one of the most likely leaders to do so. The problem, as mentioned before, is he doesn't have a good third city. He's got Bombay, his capital, Vijayanagara. These are very strong spots, but he doesn't have a good third city. We'll see. If he turns on the slider, we'll know. What's Charlie? Charlie must be an anarchy this turn. All right, so that attack on Cologne did not work, as expected. And Napoleon, who's getting out-teched pretty badly, is hanging on for now, but it's not looking good long-term. I mean, he's mostly building maces, and maces are not a good matchup for grenadiers. Or they are a good matchup for the grenadiers. They're not good on the mace side. So I saw somebody were like, wait a minute, Ahsoka's pleased with Charlie, not likely to declare war. Yeah, that's kind of why I picked a low number of wars for this game, because I was like, if it's these two left, they're going to be pleased with each other, and they both do not declare it pleased. So good odds that the game will not have a ton of wars. We're already at 7, but we may have a peaceful endgame here. It's in play, certainly. Here comes the entire Holy Roman military up to kill this Barb city, the size 1 Barb city. Ahsoka got yet another great profit. So he's cranking through infrastructure right now in his golden age. One nice thing for him is he did build the mausoleum, so he gets the extended golden ages from Taj Mahal. He did build the mausoleum, right? I'm pretty sure it was him. Yep. I mean, India has most of the wonders in the game right now. So Bismarck, when are you going to get your act together and start attacking the French cities? So we might not see much more action for the time being because the two big dog AIs are not willing to declare war. I guess Ahsoka could attack Napoleon. That's in play. That's about it though. And Ahsoka's like, I'm in a golden age. All right, so that city was taken back. All right, I forgive you, Bismarck. I said, when are you going to do something? He actually did do something. He took a border city. So Ahsoka has now picked up democracy. How much long will he? When will he go for rifling? Like Gandhi, he's one of the leaders who ignores the tech. So we're got to get those security bureaus out. Oh wait, look, here's a settler. Is he just gonna plop a city down here? Oh yeah, he's still expanding to yet another ice ball that has no food. It's like, Ahsoka, why do you hate food so much? There actually are some food resources here and there in the water, although apparently not a lot down here. Strikingly empty area in terms of food resources. I guess when I cleared out the ice, I didn't think to put any food resources down here because this is originally all ice on the map. But we need to have navigable Arctic and Antarctics, or else the AI pathfinding does like all this weird stuff. He did build heroic epic. It's true. I mean, in terms of military, Ahsoka's not doing that badly, right? Yeah, I mean, he's not as high as Charlie, but he's not doing that badly. This looks like the upgrade from getting rifling tech. So Bismarck now has rifles. Yeah, so it's over for Napoleon. Looks like Ahsoka is... Oh, he's going for economics and corporation. All right, he's doing the let's avoid rifling thing. How long will he be able to get away with this? How long until someone goes for liberalism? Because apparently no one's going for liberalism. Charlie's doing the same thing. Bismarck is... I don't know what he's researching. He just finished rifling, I think. Napoleon is just behind, so not really in it. And completed Versailles, so okay. But like Ahsoka's vulnerable here oh, so Charlie popped a golden age too. So now we have two leaders in a golden age. Too bad he can't declare war on anyone. He's actually in a good position to do so. Until Ahsoka gets rifling, he's vulnerable. After he gets rifling, he's pretty safe. But he doesn't have it yet, and he's deliberately not researching it. I mean, he's going to get the free economics great merchant here. And it looks like Bismarck is now really pushing into French territory. Like the core cities are now coming under attack from these grenadiers, and then it won't be long until knights and cabs are behind them. So Bismarck, for as awful as his early game was, he's pulled himself into at least something in this game. Something that's not like completely terrible. Yeah, I feel like, so the thing is, even though Hatshepsut was first to die, I kind of feel like she played a pretty good game given her situation. I feel like Bismarck played an abysmal game because he had a really good starting position and he just totally screwed it up. Like, Hattie didn't have much of a chance. Bismarck actually did, and he was very belated, but to his credit, he is still limping around in here. Also note that Charlie's now grabbing ice ball cities too in the north. I mean, hey, they all contribute. Like the AI will grow them. Even a city like this, which is total garbage, is size 9. So it's basically always worthwhile for the AI to found cities on deity because their costs are so cheap on this difficulty. Yes, Hatshepsut committed suicide by declaring on Ahsoka. That was the crucial blunder, and that was one of the biggest turning points in the game because she actually had a shot if she did not do that. But as soon as she did that, she screwed herself over. All right, looks like Ahsoka's going to get the liberalism prize. We'll see what he actually takes with it. I'm just periodically checking in with the leaders to see if like Charlie can declare war, but like so far he can't. Maybe late in the game, weird spying shenanigans will interfere with that, but for the moment, nope. Let's see, he's going to take liberalism here as Napoleon is slowly dying to this stack of grenadiers and rifles. Oh man, Statue of Liberty is only 4 turns away. Jeez. Building that thing pretty fast. Let's see what the free tech was. I'm going to guess astronomy out of the various options. What did he take? Did he take? I think he took military tradition. That's the only one I see. Why didn't he take astronomy? Oh well. Looks like he took military tradition. Kind of a weird choice because he didn't even have gunpowder yet. Oh well. Maybe he'll go for rifling now. No, he already had corporation. Corporation was the previous tech he picked up. Otherwise, corporation would have made more sense. Oh well. So yeah, it's reasonably close in score between Ahsoka and Charlemagne. And now is he going for? All right, now he's on rifling. So it looks like the window of opportunity for someone else to do something to Ahsoka is finally closing here. Because he's about to pick up rifles. Just slowly watching France dying here. That said, Germany won't get too much from some of these city captures because it's going to be swallowed up by Holy Roman culture. Like this city is, you can't hold this as Germany. It'll be swallowed up by Holy Rome. And like Holy Rome definitely has more territory than India. The difference is India is just further ahead and has 10,000 wonders, which helps to make a difference. But like in pure territory, and there's the Statue of Liberty as well. I was kind of wondering if Ahsoka would grab a city or two off of Napoleon, but it does not look like that's going to happen. That window is kind of closed already. Bismarck's going cannons, yeah. So not much left of France now as we watch Napoleon slowly dying here. All right, it's not happening. I'm just clicking through these turns a little faster because there's not a lot going on other than France just dying. Check in with diplomacy, still same as before. No change there. So watch, so Ahsoka went free speech. Charlie burns a turn in anarchy. Going uni suffrage for some reason. I mean, I guess he gets the production on his towns, I guess. I mean, he needed to go emancipation for happiness purposes. Look at poor Napoleon without emancipation. Too crowded. We will not fight our brothers and sisters in the faith. Can't forgive your cruel oppression. War, what's it good for? We demand emancipation. These two, Charlie and Bismarck, are also still getting a bonus from the shared faith. At some point, that's probably going to drop. I don't know if that would cause them to be cautious with one another, but like without the +4 from care for brothers and sisters of the faith, it's unlikely that they'd be pleased with one another. And Bismarck can declare war at pleased. He can always attack regardless. Wait, Ahsoka's got a 17 turns on chemistry. Did he start running the slider? No, he's running gold for upgrade. He's upgrading. I was like, wait, did he go to... Is he trying to run the slider? But no. This makes sense. He just discovered rifling, so he's running gold on this. He's running 90% gold to upgrade old medieval units into rifles. So that makes sense. Yeah, some of you guys had it in the chat. Just double checking. So kind of slow turns here. This can happen if there's a lot of high piece weight leaders that are around at the end of the game. Low piece weight leaders mostly will just attack like crazy. You have like Shaka and Monty and Ragnar, like they're crazy. They'll attack anyone. But the high piece weight leaders, if they're the ones that are strong, if there's mostly high piece weight leaders, then they tend to just leave each other alone for the most part. They're not likely to attack each other. So there goes Paris. France is still dying. A lot of great people here. Double great engineer super specialist. That's kind of cool. Okay, still upgrading units. In pre-expansion Civ4, the AI could upgrade their units like literally for nothing. Now they at least do have to spend actual gold to upgrade them. Like normally to upgrade a mace into a rifle is, I think it's like 200-ish gold, something like that. And they could do it for like 10 gold or something ridiculous. They had like 90% discount on the upgrades, but in the expansions, it was changed that they actually did have to pay something to do the upgrades. We have had a couple more tundra cities founded. Like this one was tossed out by Charlemagne. Don't see any more cities from India. Those two have been there for a while, and those two were planted together a little while ago. Yeah, Charlie actually did take over the score lead because he has more territory than Ahsoka. Yes, it's scaled with difficulty. I'm speaking of. I should have specified on deity they paid nothing, but they had cheap upgrades on every difficulty. It was just particularly absurd on deity. Man, Ahsoka, you've been taking a long time to upgrade those units. Are you still running the gold slider? Still on 90% gold. I guess he had a lot of units to upgrade. Guess he's been slowly doing it. So yeah, we're still watching this slow death here. All right, now it looks like he's finally turned the slider back on again in terms of research. Let's look at the research rate. Charlie, 50%. Oh, he's running gold right now as well, so that's not really a fair comparison. They're both running gold right now. Both much lower than they can actually generate. They're all running a lot of gold for some reason. I guess they're all still upgrading. We gotta wait until they're done upgrading all their rifles, or old units into rifles. Boy, it's taking Napoleon a long time to die, isn't it? So this is like Hannibal from last week. There's one trebuchet and one cannon, so that's why it's taking a while. At least there is a cannon to speed this up a little bit. All right, down to one city. The game doesn't really get interesting again until after Napoleon's gone. Sorry, Napoleon, but like it's kind of like priced in that you're dead at this point. Just like Shaka, he pops up to request spam as he's about to die. Yeah, they build so many units it takes forever to upgrade everything. That's true. And that's the big one because literally it's like every single unit that's not a mounted or a siege unit upgrades into rifles. Archers upgrade into them, melee units upgrade into them, like they all upgrade. So it takes a long time to do that. And we've gotten 250 turns. We'll do like a big check of the wider game state after Napoleon's gone, which is not going to be much longer. In fact, it's literally the next turn. And by not much longer, so Bismarck does finish a conquest of his own. All right, Napoleon's out, turn 251. All right, Napoleon. Bismarck gets a kill. Well, Bismarck's gotten his first point ever in AI Survivor history. Yay! His first point ever. He has never scored a point before. Finally takes him out of the 0-point club. Congratulations, Bismarck. You earned it. Turn 251. I mean, it's more than Sitting Bull and Victoria and Hatchips can say. None of them have ever scored a point. He's still stuck in the 0-point club. So even if he doesn't do anything else in this game, it's still been his best showing ever. Okay. Participation trophies all around. And he's actually not like he has enough territory now to be decently strong too. I mean, like if you look at the territory that everybody has, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, 12. He's got about a dozen cities. India has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, India's a little low on territory, honestly. Holy Rome has more territory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, Holy Rome definitely has more territory. India has good cities, but India just definitely has less territory. Doesn't help that a lot of these are crummy ice cities either. I mean, okay, Holy Rome has crummy ice cities as well, but Holy Rome's got a lot of territory. If India could somehow absorb these two cities, that would improve the position of Ahsoka by quite a bit. They both have chances to revolt. We'll see if they ever do. All right, so let's do it. Advance a couple turns, get them out of war-making mode, and do like a more proper comparison of the various leaders. Ahsoka is not close to a cultural victory. He has 2 cities, but he doesn't have a third one. Shangyin is his best option, but like you can see, it's 100 turns. Well, I mean that's not that far away. 100 turns away is not that far. It's in play if he runs the slider, especially. It's in play. I mean, look at all these religions he has. 6 religions in this city. Yeah, it's in play for sure. The problem is he has no cottages in this town, in this city. So even if he turns on the slider, he won't get that much. I mean, he only has 29 commerce in this city, so that's not going to add a lot. He could probably get that down to 80-ish turns, but I don't know he can do too much better than that. Maybe some of these other cities would pick up the slack, though. I don't know. If he just had one more city that was strong culturally, Elephantine maybe, but this city was delayed. This city was captured at such a late date, so Napoleon getting Hattie spoils from Ahsoka changed the game. Yeah, it's true. I mean, Ahsoka got about half the spoils. And no, Ahsoka got more than half. Ahsoka got Elephantine, Alexandria, Heliopolis, and then Napoleon got Memphis and Thebes. So yeah, if Ahsoka had gotten these two, yes, he'd be in much better shape. That's certainly true. But it also would have been a much more difficult war for him to win without having the help from Napoleon. All right, so let's look at our bar graphs. All right, so in terms of power, everybody's pretty close. GNP, okay, India's by far the most, but I do think a lot of this is culture. Production's pretty close for everybody. Food, Charlie definitely has a lead there. Look at how flat Ahsoka's been. No expansion for the last 50 turns. Power, we just saw that. Culture, yeah, India's way ahead in culture. Now let's see their research rate. All right, Charlie is still running gold for upgrades. Ahsoka is not. Yeah, you know, Ahsoka's research rate is not that great. His culture is absurd. Oh, wait, he's still running gold. He doesn't. They're both still running gold. I guess they are still upgrading units. Still working through those remaining units that they've got. Yeah, there's still longbows back here. So I think Charlemagne has the potential to have more research in the long run, but I think Ahsoka is stronger for right now and is ahead. Oh, and then in terms of relations, okay, so Bismarck would be the one to start a war if he was going to. He's cautious with Ahsoka, and remember, he can declare it pleased. So that's kind of the wild card. Right now, Ahsoka and Charlie will not declare on anyone. That could shake things up, definitely, if Bismarck tried to fight a war here, especially before Ahsoka gets to the next generation of military tech. Like, I think Ahsoka gets to. Let's look at their tech trees real quick. So here's Charlie. He is missing liberalism for whatever reason, but he has most everything else in the Renaissance. He's basically about to enter the industrial era. Ahsoka is in pretty much the same position, and then Bismarck is missing the top of the tree. Is missing a lot of stuff here, but he's headed to combustion and does have steam power. He should really go to assembly line and get his factories in play. They're half cost because he's organized. So this game is definitely not over yet. I think Charlie and Ahsoka both have pretty good odds to. Oh, did Ahsoka turn on the slider? Oh, looky what we've got here. Somebody's making their play for the cultural victory. 900 culture per turn in this city. Oh boy. Bismarck's not organized? Oh no, he's expansive industrious. Okay. My bad. Culture slider going on. Well, let's see what the timer is for. All right, 74 turns. It's a long way to go. That's a long way to go to get there. Let's check some of these other cities and see. All right, no, that city's not close. That's a long way to make it with just what he's got right now. We'll see. I don't know. This is bold. This is a bold gambit. Whether he can do this or not, he's better hope that he doesn't get attacked by someone like Bismarck. But he's making his play for it. It'll be less than 74. Yeah, it'll be less than 74. So he's looking around turn 320-ish, roughly. I mean, the danger would be Bismarck techs up to factory-based units and attacks. That would be the danger. So Bismarck can still ruin this game for me. I mean, obviously, if Ahsoka were to win the game around turn 325, I would be like, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good to be around turn 325. Maybe we can get one more war declaration. No, and I would be happy if the game just stayed to where it was. All right. So that's the game. Assembly. Um, is Bismarck going to make a play for war here? Remember, he is just cautious with Ahsoka. The other leaders will not declare right now, unless one of them drops. One of them could drop Christianity, go free religion. That would affect this. So we're mostly just going to next turn here until we see someone. I mean, we can check to see if Bismarck's plotting war. I guess I can't. Actually, I guess I can't check because it's nothing's read it out. So like every time a turn goes, oh, and he's building culture. Okay, that speeds it up a little bit. Yeah, again, we're looking at turn 320-ish, roughly. Building culture. You know what would be nice? Running artist specialist instead of priest specialist. I know building culture helps, but I think running artist specialist would do more. Orleans is revolting. Where was that? Oh yeah, not surprising. This city I doubt can be held long term either. The other thing is with Ahsoka pushing. Oh wait, did Memphis? This city was. Oh wait, this city either flipped or was given over to India. Okay, so India just picked up this city. So that's definitely a help. It's one fewer city for Bismarck, one more for India. I apologize if I'm too pro Ahsoka. He's my pick in this game, so I kind of want to see him do well. I don't think hardly anyone is rooting for Bismarck, but maybe some of you are. If so, I apologize. So yeah, a lot of Bismarck's conquests are like he doesn't really have enough culture to hold them. Rems here. We saw that Orleans is revolting. Paris should be okay, but like if he can't control a lot of his recent conquests, then he obviously doesn't get as much out of it. Yeah, if you're rooting for Bismarck, you're probably just rooting for the spoiler side of things. Yeah, and a great artist. I wonder if he'll be smart enough to use that in the city where it actually matters. I don't know. Anyone who voted for Shaka is now cheering for Bismarck. Maybe so. So this city's going to have a ton of cultural pressure on it, thanks to yeah. So Heliopolis is going to expand forward. Okay, 20, 40. Oh, it actually was not under cultural pressure before. Oh, yes, it was. 79% Indian. 24. Yeah, because right now Heliopolis is 60% borders, and that puts culture here, here, and here. But at 80%, it actually starts putting culture on these three tiles. Not to mention Memphis is now picking up culture. This is like me playing passive aggressive Hattie. Now this city's been taken over, and now it'll put pressure on Thebes as well. Yeah, it's kind of nasty when someone has this much culture. So yeah, Shangyan is just building its culture. 59 turns. Keeping my fingers crossed this goes as expected. I have spaceship, but I would be very happy to see an early cultural win. Saw the units moving around. I was wondering if that was a war declaration. No change in diplomacy, still the same. Charlie can't attack right now. Bismarck's still cautious. Of course, Bismarck could also attack Charlie. I mean, it's unlikely, but he could. They certainly have a lot of border tension. That would seal the game for Ahsoka if that happened, by the way. So mostly just next turn in here. Watching the units shuffle around, seeing if they're going to go over the border or not. It is kind of tense though. Like I know that there's no fighting going on, but it is a little bit tense. It's like, is a war going to break out? Is Bismarck going to try to do this? So that's our first legendary city. Bombay's gone legendary, but that's no surprise. We knew this city would go legendary. The difficulty is not getting one city to legendary. It's getting or even two. Like Vijay Nagara is going to hit legendary easily. It's getting 3 cities. One thing that does help Ahsoka is if a war does come, he doesn't have any legendary cities right on the border. This is probably this is the closest, but like Shangyan is very safely tucked back in here. Oh, he's actually running artist specialist now. Although he stopped building culture for some reason. Broadcast towers would certainly help, although he doesn't have the tech for broadcast towers because he stopped down astronomy. Okay, poor Thebes here getting swallowed up. A defensive pact would also be pretty hilarious if one of these AIs signed a defensive pact with another. No change in diplomacy still. Look at the look at the borders just swallowing up this area. Thebes has enough units that it's suppressing any revolts, but you can see it's helplessly starving down. Just it's going to be a useless city because it won't control any tiles. And then for some reason, this tile has more German culture than any of these ones. Oh, you know what it was? It was because Thebes was putting culture on these tiles before, and now Thebes is done. And apparently Dusseldorf doesn't reach this tile because yeah, it's got third ring border. I don't quite understand why that tile is in Indian territory. Just for whatever reason, it doesn't have a lot. Got taken by. Oh yeah, and this one was taken over by Charlemagne, and apparently his army is hiding out here. He's got 50 units in there. So yeah, Charlie's kind of, or excuse me, Bismarck's kind of lost a lot of his conquests. Like, what did he actually get out of this war? He got Paris and Lyon, and I guess Reims, and well, Thebes is starving down to size one. Reims is size one because it can't control any tiles. So he got some cities, but most of the ones he picked up are kind of useless. So he didn't get as much out of this war as you would expect because just way too much Indian culture on all these cities. Watching the fast workers run around, building corporations. Remember how Munich was culturally crushed by the Egyptian city? And then after this city was captured, it was like, yay, we finally get to work tiles. And it's like, nope, now you're right back to being culturally crushed again. You're right back to being dominated by a superior border city. I mean, at 500, this really is passive aggressive Hattie all over again. This city is getting 600 culture per turn, so it's going to swallow up these tiles soon too. And if for some reason Changyan is too slow, it's at 46 turns. I mean, this city, Elephantine's only at 60 turns, even though it was a recent conquest. So Ahsoka's looking pretty good as long as he can keep this going. Just this peaceful period. Bismarck still doesn't have factories yet, which is what will give him the edge over Ahsoka, is getting to assembly line. I mean, Charlie is not exactly ahead, and he doesn't have factories yet either, so it's not like the others are running away with the game in terms of tech. But like if they get to tanks, then they'd be strong enough to start pushing through Ahsoka's rifles. They just don't seem to be very close to tanks. Instead, we're watching the borders get swallowed up one tile at a time over here. Because there's no fighting, we're just amusing ourselves, or at least I am, by watching the borders get swallowed up. There goes another tile. This little pocket won't last much longer. Poor Thebes is now size 1. Reims either flipped or was gifted over to, so that's another city that's been lost by Bismarck. Bismarck's been steadily getting weaker because all of his cities are being lost to cultural acquisition. I mean, look, even little Madras down here has pushed its borders all the way out. It's going to grab these tiles here soon, too. So how many more turns are we looking at right now? We're looking at 36 turns. So yeah, similar to what we've been saying, around roughly turn 320-ish or so. Although why Shangyan's building wealth instead of culture is a really good question. It is possible we will literally just sit here and next turn our way until the end of the game. That is definitely a possibility. All right, so Charlie is now finally on factories at assembly line tech. I mean, remember, he won't declare war at pleased. And he is still pleased with Ahsoka, although there is a -1 for your spy was caught causing trouble. Still that -1 there. Needless to say, there is some border tension between India and Germany as a result of immense Indian culture everywhere. Do they even have open borders with each other, just out of curiosity? I think they do. All right, they do. I was wondering if these units could move out of this city. They're just choosing not to move out of the city. But they could, if they wanted to. Poor Munich is like, oh, we're going to build culture here. 34 per turn, that's good, right? And this city's like, actually 600, 600's a little bit better. All right, 28 turns. Clock is ticking. Are you going to do anything, Bismarck? Now, if this was a better AI leader, I would say, yeah, he'll probably do something. But the problem is this is Bismarck, so odds are he's probably not going to do anything. and just sit here and let the game slip out way out of his fingers. So that's two. It's another legendary city, Vijayanagara. Time's ticking. Can the UN be built? Ooh, good question. I don't think anyone's that close to mass media. Maybe Charlie. He's probably closest. So he would need electricity and radio and mass media, and then to build the wonder, and then they'd have to hold the vote. I mean, you can see Ahsoka's falling behind, but he's still not behind by that much. Charlie is the one who's pulled ahead. Bismarck has not been that impressive, honestly. And Charlie can't declare war at pleased, which is one of his weaknesses. If he could declare war at pleased, I would have thought about picking him for domination, but he will not attack, and as long as he is trapped in peace mode, he will not be able to run away with this game, even though he is by far the score leader now, having picked up a lot of territory. And we're 300 turns into the game. Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the most territory now. Although Ahsoka's border, I mean, look at the borders from Heliopolis. This is obscene. How often do you see this? A city that controls tiles, what, 5 tiles away? Ahsoka should just dump a city right here so he can start working these tiles. Did he turn the slider on? Yeah, he's had the slider on for the last 40 or so turns. So we're 20 turns away here at Shangyan from hitting legendary. And as I said, if for some reason that city would not go legendary, this city's only 38 turns away, so he's got multiple cities that are not that far off. I was wondering if any of the other cities are remotely close, but no, those are the only ones that are in play. Yeah, I mean, we can look at the bar graphs real quick, but there's not that much to see, really. Look at the last 100 turns. So GNP, fueled by all the culture, Ahsoka's ahead. Production, only one person has factories. You can see the effect that they have. Food, Charlie is pulled ahead over the last 100 turns. Power, he's ahead too because he has now picked up the infantry. And culture is absurdly in favor. How much culture is Ahsoka putting out? 4,700 per turn. I mean, Charlie's 800 and Bismarck's, 334, yeah. That would be a recipe for getting crushed culturally by your neighbors. I mean, Bismarck still has not exceeded Ahsoka in power. I think the time has probably run out. I think even if Ahsoka were to get attacked now, I think he would still be okay. The only one who could actually hurt him would be Charlie, but Charlie is still unable to declare war because they're pleased. And Bismarck, I just don't think is strong enough. Even if he were to declare war, I don't think it would do anything at this point. I think it's just too late. 291 turns for steam power. And I mean, like, there's not a lot of turns left now. We're down to about a dozen remaining. Even though Shangyan, for some bizarre reason, will not build culture instead of building wealth. Still won't do it, but it's a lot of culture in this city. 13 turns remaining. So if this finishes the way it looks like it's going, I'm actually going to score a lot of points from this game. I don't have the victory condition right, but I'm going to have everything else pretty darn close. So yep, 9 turns. Even if he turned off the slider now, the thing is, this city's not even getting that much from the slider. It's only getting 29 culture from commerce from the slider. Like you can see, 29 from the slider, but then 32 from specialist, 10 from religion, 36 from buildings. Like even if he turned off the slider, he would still win in like just 20 turns instead of 9. So really, it's like 2. All right, well, at least we get something to liven up the end of the game. Bismarck's declared on Ahsoka. All right, well, get to see a little bit more action. But as I said, even if Ahsoka turns the slider off, I think he still wins. Where is the Bismarck army? Oh, here it is. 36 units. So the question is, he has to get to one of the holy cities, which are very deep inside Indian culture. So Ahsoka did turn the slider off to build units, but he's still within 12 turns. He's still within 12 turns. So, like I said, turning off the slider did not really do that much. At least at the cities that are closest. 38 units here. Now, that said, Vijayanagara is not that far away from where Bismarck's located. Let's look at the power bar graphs for these two sides. Ahsoka's actually higher in power. Did that change? Charlie? Nope, Charlie's still friendly with, or pleased or friendly with both. Just help me. Yeah, I would have preferred not to have it happen, though. A little too dangerous for my liking. It does not look like this went very well. One of the other things that really hurts Bismarck is the entirety of the war happens to take place in like deep in Indian territory. It is very hard to attack cities when the culture is this dominant for one side. Like Ahsoka has visibility advantage, has movement, has line of has the ability to move in his own territory, can heal much easier. Yeah, this Bismarck stack is just getting absolutely shredded. Although Bismarck does have the modern ships, it appears, like transport versus galleons. I don't know what's going on over there. So, like I said, if Bismarck had factories, then it might make a difference, but it appears that he does not. And since he doesn't, I don't see this going very well for him. Let me do advance one more turn. Okay, so to no surprise, these cities that were 100% surrounded by Indian culture are getting picked up. I mean, there's just no way to defend these spots. And yeah, that's did not go well. I wouldn't even call that a shark fin. I would just call that falling off a cliff. So yeah, Ahsoka not having a lot of difficulty here. He is set. Now, it did slow down his cultural victory a little bit, but not by much. Shangyan is still only 10 turns away. So Ahsoka loses the war at sea because he doesn't have oil-based units, but he's sure as heck winning the war at land. On land. Or at land. Bismarck did just finally finish assembly line because I see infantry in his territory, but it's not enough to save Munich, though. Just refresh the map real quick to get these city captures. So Bismarck, in the end, you were still useless. Now, if you had done this 30 turns ago, it might have done something. Instead, you're just delaying the finishing date. More turn points, yeah. Which is significant for our game when the game actually finishes. And Ahsoka is now going to connect oil. Although Shangyan, which remember is the city in question here. Oh man, could this finish on the exact turn I need? Could this actually finish on exactly turn 325? Because you get a big score boost if you get the exact turn correct. I doubt that's going to happen, but I mean, that would be nice for me. I didn't even realize that this city got captured as well. Now Bismarck's just... I mean, Bismarck's not going to die, let's be clear, but he is not looking good here at the end of the game. This city's got to be toast as well. Yeah, max points if Charlemagne declared, but he can't. He literally can't declare war. He won't declare war at pleased, so it's impossible, barring something really weird happening. Yeah, maximum points. I have the wrong victory condition too, to be fair. All right, well we're at 4 turns away, and so please finish on the exact turn so I can have like a near perfect game. I keep expecting Dusseldorf to get captured and it hasn't been. So I have the wrong victory condition, but I'm looking pretty good on everything else in this one. All right, are we still at 2 turns to go? We are at 2 turns to go. I think we're actually going to hit the exact turn I have predicted on 325. So for whatever reason, this city, I guess that city did get attacked. The attack just didn't punch through. All right, it's, yeah, it looks like we're going to win on exactly turn 325. Wow. That's, I mean, apparently the contest is rigged, right? Rigged, I tell you, rigged! No. There we go. Yay! I wish I'd been brave enough to pick cultural victory, because Ahsoka is more likely to win by culture than space. I kind of chickened out by picking space, But hey, I kind of got everything else right. I got Ahsoka to win, Charlie to be second, Hattie first to die at the exact turn, and I got the wars within one. That's going to be a good scoring game. I'll take it. Let's look at the replay, and then we'll get to the score contest. Yeah, I have not done great in predictions in the other games, so I'm happy to get one that really did go the way I was expecting. So let's talk our way through the setup. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I just did not like Shaka's starting position. I thought he would get squeezed on territory, and that's exactly what happened. And because Shaka was weak, that meant the low piece weight leaders were probably going to have a rough game. And again, that's kind of what happened. So let's watch the early game here. All right, so the big things that happen, let me wait. There we go. Big thing that happens is this. I think that this is one of the biggest moments of the game. Charlie puts his city right here, right on the border with Napoleon and Shaka, and he gets the Holy City immediately. And this just crushes Shaka so badly. It really hurt Napoleon too. They just get squeezed on territory. They got a cultural, creative civ here that is outputting lots of culture, and then a Holy City here, and then there's just nowhere for Shaka to expand. He just finds himself out of territory right away, and his land just was not that good. So everybody fills up the map, blah, 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 blah. We'll go until the map is settled here. And at this point, like Shaka's just in a weak position. He doesn't have much territory. Even though Hattie does not have any medals, she's still able to defend. And then the other really big moment in the game early on comes here. Napoleon declares on Charlie. He could have attacked Hatshepsut, but he goes after Charlie instead. So what that does is it means that we have a stalemate in the north, like nothing really happens. This is a stalemate. We have a stalemate in the south, nothing really happens. And that means India just grows and grows and grows. Like that was really big for Ahsoka. Gets that breathing space, just becomes stronger, doesn't have to worry about defending against anyone early on. So that was a really key moment. If Napoleon attacks Hatshepsut instead, there's a decent chance that Egypt just gets run over because it's a 2v1. And then maybe Shaka actually does something this game. Maybe he gets two Egyptian cities and maybe he's strong enough to be a competitor. But because Napoleon goes after Charlie, we get stalemate from them and a snowballing India. So I think, like I said, I think that was a really significant moment. And then the next big moment is this. Hattie attacking Ahsoka, a bizarre decision, it just completely leads to her death. Falls apart almost immediately when Napoleon piles in. And then we see Egypt collapse. And Egypt is gone. With India getting the spoils are split between India and France, but the difference is India is already strong, France is weak, so France is never in a position to really capitalize on taking those cities, largely because Bismarck attacks at the same time, not able to capitalize. Then this is the other big thing: Shaka attacking Charlie, pure suicide on his part. Charlie absorbs his territory and then snowballs ahead. And Charlemagne really was the dominant AI by the end of this game because he captured so much territory. He gets Shaka's territory, and then he ends up getting most of France's territory. Bismarck makes the conquest, but like half that territory ends up going to Holy Rome just because of culture. So France dies slowly because Bismarck is kind of incompetent as an AI. And Holy Rome ends up getting a lot of it. India gets a lot of that too, just due to cultural pressure. And then nothing really happens. India runs the cultural slider, acquires more tiles, and the late game war doesn't do anything. It just is an excuse for India to take more cities. That war backfired pretty badly. So and then that's our end. Ahsoka just runs the culture slider and wins. So just a game where the low piece weight civs could not get off to a good enough start. Hattie, you may have died, but you bought space for the other high piece weight civs to do well. So Hattie died for their sins.